Hi, welcome to the 1 Liter Podcast. You will watch us drinking 1 liters of beer whilst talking about shies. Please like and subscribe. Welcome to the 1 Liter.
Prost.
Prost.
Oh,
Prost.
I don't have a liter anymore.
Anymore, yeah. It's been
Likewise.
What's in your?
I just gotta
what
say-
are you drinking?
Oh, it's like a seltzer thing.
That's
seltzer
alright.
thing.
I gotta say, I love the Newtown Jets hat. Like, it would have been cool if the Jets had their own team, like in the league, but obviously it's not a thing.
Yeah, it's
For
not
everyone
allowed.
listening, we've got
Seen
a
him.
new friend. His name is Joseph. He's on the podcast today.
Special.
I'm going to
boy.
call him a hobby movie director / works with me in our shitty 9-to-5 job. So it's fantastic.
a hobby movie director.
Yeah, is that what you would call it?
I wouldn't. Well, I suppose it is. That's like the sad truth. Actually,
You're actually sorry. He's a movie director, but currently it's a hobby because he has to
I
work a
don't-
9-to-5 job.
I'm a refugee from the film industry.
Exactly. Fuck.
Please, sir, can I have some more? Shit.
Literally.
Well, what were you about to say, Joel?
I was
Something
gonna
about-
say, if I was working, if I was retiring and I lived in a nice sunny coastal place and somewhere in the Mediterranean, my ideal would just be have one of those like ridiculously beautiful studies where it's just like a library, like books everywhere, and I'd have a lovely table near the window, perfect natural sunlight, and I would just paint fucking Warhammer models all day
And do heroin.
and do.
Take it to the extreme,
I'd,
Joel.
I'd probably be involved in some kind of narcotic for sure to keep me going because it's just like my back hurts from painting these fucking models.
Yeah.
Maybe not heroin.
Well,
I mean, you could go directly to heroin, but maybe.
You'd paint.
Maybe
you'd-
just smoke
you'd
some
paint the
weed.
models much faster.
oh yeah. Like realistically, if let's say let's speak on the more positive note. If you had money and you were able to buy the property that you wanted in the location that you wanted,
Oh yeah.
what would you like to do while you're retiring? Would you just like watch old reruns of movies? Like, what would be your thing? Like, it doesn't. It doesn't even. You don't even have to be 80 years old. Like, let's say you're only in your 50s. Even like you've done it. I'm 45. I've retired.
You
like,
made some money from
I
a
made
movie.
some
and
money.
you're gonna
I
retire.
sold a couple of things.
some
Yeah.
heroin.
Yeah, I sold some heroin.
Overseas, you did some
Yeah.
smuggling. Yeah.
I just worked for a pharmaceutical.
The
pharmaceutical company.
private pharmaceutical company.
Yeah, and then it's legal and it's fine. I actually don't really know. I haven't put much thought to what I'd want to do.
that's the
in
problem
my
with that.
retirement. I think
yeah.
it's because I'm never going to retire. I'm probably just
They'll find you
stop
dead
at
on the
some
toilet
point.
one
Yeah,
day.
that's definitely where they're finding me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but retirement is a funny term anyway, because like you're just saying I retire is just a term for I'm finishing working my 9-to-5 job. Like there's plenty of people that do their own creative thing. They don't retire as such. They're always going to keep doing things.
Well, retirement's just a peculiar thing anyway, because like it's like, and then you hit 65, or whatever it is, and then you're like, don't have to work, gonna get my super and go on a cruise.
And then what? Yeah, go on a cruise. That's it.
go
And
on a cruise.
the
and
cruise lasts
fucking
for a
jump
couple of
off
months.
The back.
And
You
then you
jump off
come
the
home.
back.
Yeah.
Then you come home
Titanic
and then
style.
what? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Rose.
Yeah.
Don't come any closer.
Exactly.
When was the last time you watched Titanic?
Only recently.
I haven't watched it. I think that I watched it when I lived in Redfern, which would have been like 2017. And I don't remember what I thought to it. Or perhaps my brother or someone was watching it, and then I caught a little bit of it.
Mm.
I thought that it had aged really strangely. I think mainly because of the soundtrack.
Do you think?
Soundtrack was off.
Well, soundtrack, it's not that it's off.
Too
it's just
modern?
that it's no, not that it was too modern. It was just very I mean, I suppose like James Cameron, he does have this very I suppose very kind of tacky American kind of fluffy tone to it. It's very sort of imposing and almost like bordering on silly, which is nice. Like he made Terminator 2 and, all of that stuff, which
Come
is
on,
the
dog.
greatest chase movie ever made. But I just remember being like, oh yeah, because I remember like watching it was when it was brand new, and now I'm like in my mid-30s, so everything. I'm in this sort of period of my life where I'm like, oh fuck, I'm not a retarded 25-year-old anymore. Like everything was like actually a while ago now. And so watching that, what was it, 98? No, it would have been 99 by the time it came out on video.
Yeah.
Video. I miss being able to say this amongst people my age. We can get it on video.
Yeah.
Let's get it on VHS. Let's get it in a Blockbuster or Video Easy. Like,
And fucking watch it
fuck,
on
that
like a
was good.
screen, like a little telly. It was like that
don't even
deep,
think-
but that
Wait,
big.
I got.
I don't think we said VHS though, because that was the only
Yeah.
thing. You only
Yeah.
started saying that when it became old.
Yeah,
When you
A
had DVDs.
DVD.
Yeah.
Joseph. When I was younger, like, and I was super young, I don't think we got like we obviously flat screens weren't around at the time, but plasma TVs. The ones with the bigger backs but larger. Before we had one of those,
They were actually very good quality. They had beautiful
That was
color.
sick. That was sick.
Yeah.
We used to have the.
Yes.
Did you have one
same.
of those?
What's that?
With the little dial,
The
the
dial
actual
to turn to
TV
telly?
where you
I don't think that we
click
had
through
that.
channels.
It was like, and then you
Yeah.
just hit some shit on the.
No,
Yeah.
we didn't.
remote.
We had one with
Bro,
no
you had a
remote,
twist
with
as
the
well.
twist, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
We had that when we moved from Germany to Australia, and our neighbors gave it to us, like
Mm.
as we moved into our house, because we flew over, obviously, and then our furniture was on a ship for 3 months. So we were without furniture. So the first
How old were you when you moved?
9.
Oh,
So-
right.
Yeah. So the first month or so, we had a caravan. And we were literally living in a caravan going to like
In-
caravan parks.
In Queensland.
In
Just a
Queensland.
little German boy.
Yeah, I remember we stayed in. Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. I remember we stayed in Kingscliff for a while. And then we
It's
got a
nice there.
rental place, and we were in there, and we actually started going to school whilst still not having any furniture. So
In Kimberley Park.
yeah, so we bought like one of those plastic outdoor table and chair sets, like because we were like, my parents were like, well, we'll leave that outdoors once
Once
we
you
get our
have a
furniture.
house.
But like at the time, that was our only table and chairs. And then we borrowed some cutlery and cups from the neighbors, and they gave us that old TV, and it was like on the floor. We just
But did you change out the socket, the thingy that you put in the socket?
the what? Oh, for
The PowerPoint. whatever fuck
for
I'm
the
trying to
German
say.
PowerPoints.
Yeah.
Or no, because we had no German appliances. But yeah, when they all came over, we had to get adapters for everything.
Right.
When
Oh, okay.
when you were obviously still adapting to this new country in a foreign language, when you were watching TV at the time, you're like, Mama, es wird werden. Like, what does this mean? What is the funny
Yeah, well,
thing?
we would just put on like in the morning before school, we would just put on like the kids channels, and
Mm.
because we knew no English, so that was
No,
like
no.
no.
Is-
So that's how like we learned basic bitch English, like the Teletubbies singing their bullshit stuff.
Yeah. Is
Oh,
Did they
Teletubbies,
say words?
Say hello.
Oh, they
No,
did. Yeah.
that's oh, they did. I never Is
It was Pingu. I had.
Pingu is great.
I
Yeah.
had the thing. When I was a kid, I was like, they're just saying bullshit. They're just making noises.
Will they speak like Dutch or something?
No, well, I watched it as a grown-up person a while ago, but I was like in my 20s, probably like that. And I was like, oh, they're like, it just sound like a deaf person
Yeah.
with a high-pitched voice. Yeah, then
And they
then
get
make
real
little
angry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember the one when Pingu's little sister pisses herself, and they did all the yellow
Play-Doh.
Puddle.
Play-Doh piss puddle, and I was like, imagine being in an igloo and someone pisses themselves.
Yeah.
That would suck.
And it would just become
Freeze.
like in
part
the
of the feng
carpet.
shui, yeah.
part of the feng shui.
I
yeah.
remember an episode, like one of the only episodes I remember that I didn't see on YouTube as an adult later on was Pingu gets up and he's like this the slapping
yeah.
feet. And he stands from me to the window away. Legit. It's like a meter and a half and goes, pisses and it goes into the toilet. And he's just sitting there hanging a leak. I was like, fuck, he's got some
Wow,
hang
I reckon
time.
I definitely tried that out.
Yeah, me
yeah,
too.
100%.
Went all over the toilet seat for
I'd be
sure.
like, yeah, I got a bit of it in it.
I used to if
Quality.
I remember if I had like I was busting to go,
Mm.
and I had like a really strong stream going, you would test yourself. You'd be like, how far could I step away from this toilet as you're
I
pissing?
still do that, dude. You kidding me?
Yeah.
Still do that
You're like,
shit.
Me and my brother would like piss at the same time
yeah.
and like fucking
Sword
lightsaber
fight.
that
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
piss.
When sometimes even now I'll turn the shower on and I'll step back, and if I really need to piss, I'll like aim it up and I'll just get the water fountain and I'll angle it so it goes perfectly into the drain, and I'm like, hell yeah, you know?
You're like,
Just
yeah, that is
pissing straight into the shower
put
drain.
that on the CV.
Yeah.
Well,
How would you label that?
I pissed.
Marksman?
is that in
Yeah.
your skills section?
I pissed into the hole of the drain from really far away.
He's
You'd
like,
be
"What's,
fuck, all right,
What
tired."
what's this here? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can.
that's an
Or you put it
extra
under
skill.
skills and you say can
Mm.
I
piss
can do
directly
that.
into drain.
Someone would be like, well, you never know.
All
We're
right,
Sydney.
Joseph, real talk now, and I'm going to
Mm.
give you some time to think about this if you can't answer it straight away. It's a very broad question to answer. However,
Go on, mate.
if you die hard, you've got it. If you die hard, you can answer it straight away. If not, it's whatever.
It's whatever.
Favorite film of all time? I don't care what fucking genre it is.
I have two favorite films of all
Perfect.
time.
Perfect.
The first one is Bridge on the River Kwai because it is the best film ever made.
By
David Lean.
British film? River Kwai.
Bridge on the River Kwai.
That sounds.
It's,
is that Gaelic? What is it?
Bridge River Kwai. So it's the David Lean film about where they blow. It won the Oscar in I think 59,
Oh, you're going back. I like it.
57
yeah.
or 59.
57 it was released.
Oh, is this
And so it's Alec Guinness who played Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
He won Best Actor for the role. So the story it's just it's the first of David Lean's epics. So David Lean made Lawrence of Arabia is probably his most famous
the
one.
only film I saw of his?
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, Peter O'Toole, bro,
Yeah,
amazing.
good. Yeah, it's very good. I mean that is its own masterpiece. It's just it's kind of like that is two films because it was so big. Like there was such success that came, and money that came from.
It was like a Ridley Scott film now, like a James Cameron film now, right?
Yeah,
it's
but
like a Christopher
much more
Nolan film.
zeitgeisty. It just took over the world. Like Sam Spiegel, this like hectic, like Austrian or something bloke, just some rich dude. It was based on like a satirical, like This is Bridge on the River Kwai. It was based on a satirical novel by some French bloke taking the piss out of the British. And then it ended up being like quite like a serious and wonderful film. It's about like it opens with the Japanese have caught all these British prisoners of war.
Or like Philippines or something, or what?
No, it's like somewhere in they filmed it in like at the end it says filmed on location in Ceylon, which is Sri Lanka now. But it was somewhere between India and like Thailand or something like that, I think. Is the real because it happened in real life in some version of it anyway. But a bunch of British POWs, like a whole regiment or whatever the fuck they were called. Their colonel was played by what was
Guinness.
Yeah, it was Alec Guinness, but what was his name? Sorry, I had all of the I haven't actually watched that for a couple of years. But anyway,
I gotta watch.
it's a great film. Anyway, it's like him, and they get to this prison, and they're like, there's this Colonel Saito is the Japanese guy. And he's like, there are no walls here because if you try and run away, then you're fucking dead because you're in the middle of the jungle.
Attrition.
Losers, and they're like, so they use them as like slave labor to build a bridge over the river, and so the British are like scuttling it and just making it just fail. And the Japanese are like, you have to have this fucking bridge done because we've got to get this train line going. Then there's this American guy, American prisoner of war that's already there. And he's like, very like, I forget the name of the actor. He's a wonderful American actor, but he was like, it's shit here. You're just going to die. And then he like escapes, and then everyone dies apart from him, and he falls into the river and floats downstream, and he ends up getting away. And then uh, Alec Guinness's character is like, "We're not going to build the bridge. I'm not going to help them build the bridge. You know, you can't make us do this. It's against the Geneva Convention." And they put him in like a jail thing, and he's sweating and dying in this thing. And eventually drag him out, and he's like, "Okay, let's actually build the bridge." And then they build the bridge. The American
All
guy-
right, I've done my
yeah.
time. Yeah.
Well, he's like, "We'll build this." I'm like, fast forward, but he's like, "We'll build the bridge," and they build this like amazing bridge for them because it's like morale for the men and all this
Ah,
shit.
yes.
And then at the same time, the American guy eventually meanwhile, American guy goes downstream, gets like makes friends with a bunch of people, then ends up back at like with like some British like base or whatever it is. And they're like, we know who you are, and you actually like what do they call it when you're like a deserter? And so what we've been given, like the American government's given us full control over you, and if you want to um not go to jail or be shot or anything, you have to go back and blow this bridge up. So they all go back in, and then like Alec Guinness's character's like, "I built this really fucking sweet bridge," and then this
Well, he
American
didn't. He
guy's
didn't put like loop. Like he didn't fuck the bridge up. Like the construction was sound.
yeah, and it's beautiful, and it's like they're all like celebrating. It's the last night, and then the train's coming over, and then they're like, the other British guys are like in the night putting bombs around it, and then he's like, "Oh no, don't blow my bridge up!" And then they're like, "What?" And then they all start
So
killing
the
each other, and
satire.
then there's the famous bit at the end where Alec Guinness is like just gets shot, and he's like, "What have I done?" And he's been shot, and he dies, and he falls on the plunger and blows the fucking bridge up. It's
Classic.
fucking the best. And then my other favorite film is Wild Strawberries, Ingmar Bergman. It's the fucking tits.
Nice.
Wild
haven't heard of that one
Strawberries.
either.
I
Yeah.
haven't heard of either of
Phil,
these.
you gotta send me both of these so I can watch them because I go back. I watch people watch modern films. I'm going backwards. Like I love.
Dude,
I'm back in like Hitchcock days. Like I love older films.
these
Yeah.
are
Love them.
both 1957.
Are they? Is that 1957 as well?
Yeah.
I
I-
knew it was 50s. Because
I don't know if I can do that.
Can you?
Like,
Can you
I've
just?
said this
no,
before.
you can, Phil. You
I've
just
said
gotta.
this before. I don't think I enjoy any films that are
Can I vape?
older. Yeah.
Prior to like the 90s or something. Let me
Yeah,
ask
just
you.
blow it
or
that
the
way
80s.
away
Let
from
me.
the
Let
smoke
me.
detector.
First of all, can you give us a brief description of this second film, and then let me ask you
Mm.
a question. Go for it.
Wild Strawberries is literally because all of Ingmar Bergman's films back then, he was like a playwright.
Mhm.
Obviously in Sweden, and
Obviously.
made most obviously in Sweden. It's Ingmar Bergman. So it was like one of the first films, maybe the first film that really like made him famous back in the day. But it's about like an old bloke, and he lives down the bottom of Sweden, or somewhere like far away from whatever the fucking what's the capital of Sweden?
No idea.
Stockholm, yeah.
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 He's some old academic bloke, and he's gonna die.
Mm.
But he's like, "I'm at the end of my life." It's all very Swedish, and they're like, "We're gonna give you an award." And everyone's like taking the plane down to Stockholm for the ceremony and stuff. And then him and his daughter-in-law, so his son's wife, are like,
Seen
he's like,
this.
"I want to fucking drive," and she's like, "I'll drive," and he's like, "I want to do it alone," and she's like, insists, and then goes with him, and it's just him. The whole movie's just them driving through Sweden and like encountering like hippies, and he's like recounting like memories from his life, and it's just that's really it. But it's just such a pleasure to watch, and it's not too kind of lame and sort of over the top philosophical or anything like that. It's just like one of those really gorgeous experiences.
Mm.
And you could only really do it in that sort of Ingmar Bergman ways. Like he was a playwright, and he did these famous plays, and then he started making these like hour and a half black and white cheap as fuck movies. Like The Seventh Seals, probably most
Yeah,
famous one.
motherfucker, I was gonna ask you if
Yeah.
you've seen the Seventh Seal. Dude, I love that
Yeah.
movie.
So
It's on YouTube for free. You can watch
Yeah,
it.
all of Wild Strawberries is
Right?
on
You seen the
YouTube.
Seventh Seal? I think I showed it to you.
No,
This Swedish
you probably showed me bits.
this
but
crusader.
Ingmar Bergman.
He
I think
comes.
that I think that anyone would enjoy them because they're so pristinely restored as
They
well
are,
now.
yeah.
Like, what was the
Seventh Seal. This, yeah.
Persona, the really hectic, weird one. Night. What
yeah,
was it
Wild
called?
Strawberries on there for free as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He this
That's crazy.
guy gets back from the Crusades, and it's like the Black Plague's riddling Sweden, and the acting troupe, the partner and his wife and the little baby,
Mm.
great acting. I was going to ask you, one of my favorite films is Zulu with Michael Caine.
I do love that film as well.
Fucking great film. That's one of those films I wondered, like, if they were ever to make a modern day remake, it just wouldn't hold a candle to Michael Caine and the other gentleman.
Yeah, well, it was
The
like
Lamborghini, sir.
well, he was all posh. He had to be posh in that
Yeah.
one, didn't he?
Yeah. So what I wanted to ask you was, I only recently, maybe in like 2018, discovered Werner Herzog,
Oh yeah,
and like, oh my God, Klaus Kinski,
yeah.
dude, Aguirre. Like, obviously Klaus Kinski did Nostradamus as well. Not
Mhm.
Nostradamus, sorry, Nosferatu.
No, yeah,
You saw it, yeah, but
he did. He was in fuck. What it was the one? What's the one about the boat?
Fitzcarraldo.
Fitzcarraldo.
Yeah.
And he.
What does that mean, Philip?
What is it?
Fitzcarraldo.
Fitzcarraldo. I have no
I
idea.
think it might even be
Don't think.
Brazilian or something.
Yeah.
But dude,
No, it's just
you saw Aguirre, right?
yeah.
Oh my God! Tell the audience how, because you've come from directing side. I'm only an actor, but like I could.
I don't. To be honest, I don't really. I would have watched that a very long time ago. I only have vague memories of that. It was like that whole thing in my late teens, just like devouring 1,000 fucking movies.
Nice. Yeah.
I watched too many of them. I remember like doing all
No,
the
that's-
westerns and things.
It's blasphemy. There's never too much.
No, there's no. Well, it was just like
Like
you
the
just have
spaghetti
energy.
westerns?
Yeah, all
Yeah.
the spaghetti, like doing all the Sergio Leone. Pardon me.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. Do you know that? What was his name? What's the actor's name? What was-
Klaus Kinski,
do you know he was like fucking his daughter?
dude, he was a fucking.
It was like a
He was like a
dirty.
schizophrenic, pedophilic fucking
Yeah.
nutcase. Do you remember how I showed you the video of that German dude freaking out there in the Amazon? And he was like,
yes, yeah.
and he's
A
freaking
real
out.
life actor
Yeah.
freaking out. Yeah.
And
yeah.
all the they actually had native guides, like tribesmen, and they were looking at him like, and they went up to the director Werner Herzog, and they were like, "Who is this crazy white man? Do you want us to kill him?" And he's like, "No, I need him."
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
You
Well,
saw that?
Yeah, well, they really struggled to finance that.
Mm.
It had all different actors like Clint Eastwood or some shit attached, didn't they? Like originally, and then
Maybe probably. I mean, they had
it's such an odd film.
at the start of Fitzcarraldo, they had Mick Jagger.
Oh yeah, it was
Jagger
Mick
was-
Jagger. That was
Yeah,
it.
Jagger. Yeah. That's wild. But dude, they
Wow.
actually I showed you this. Maybe this is
Yeah, I
my
remember.
third
You
or fourth
yeah, yeah.
podcast. They carried that steamboat over the fucking mountain in Brazil, and they actually did it. And they had the giant logs underneath, and it was they had pulley systems and people, and it was like all filmed.
Right.
They were like dragging in the poor fucking like actual tribes hanging out nearby. They're like, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you guys
are you
up
doing?
to? You
What are
What
you
are
wanna?
you
doing,
up to?
guys? Yeah,
Wanna
just
come
would you
help
like
us?"
to be in the film?"
They're like, "What is a film?"
"What's a film? I
Oh,
don't know what we're
Christ.
talking about."
Phil,
But
favorite film.
well, see, I'm not die
Look,
hard like
Like
that. I don't.
I get it, but like
Barbie.
when I say favorite film, it's one. It doesn't necessarily have to be one that's evoked emotion, but one that like you can be doing anything, and at any part
I
of
think
the
we've
film,
had this
if you walk
conversation
past,
before.
Do you know?
at any part of the film, you'll sit down and fuck off your other plans to watch the rest of it.
Do you know the best way of putting this question
What?
is because it's all like it can change a lot. What's your favorite film?
It does because I have
And
like
so-
Mine
lots of
hasn't
films that
changed
I like.
since like
And- and so-
2000, bro.
And so, right, yeah, well, I'm sort of like pretty solidified on what I would like to do.
Yeah,
but
from
also like,
1957.
and Bridge on the River Kwai for me is the answer to this question. But if you're gonna die very, very soon, you get to do everything that you really like once more. What would be the last film that you watch?
Oh fuck!
And you pick it now. What what would you pick right now?
You'd want something that like.
There can
puts-
be something silly.
Yeah, you'd want
No,
something
but
that.
don't
It's
do it.
completely. It's
Don't
completely.
don't do it like, oh, I need to say something fucking.
No,
cool.
I'm not going to
Nah,
say
bro.
something cool
It's
because I
completely
was like,
subjective.
I would want something. If I'm going to die, I would want something that would like bring me some joy and make me
Lion
laugh.
King German.
No, I'm talking like something
Do
real
they
silly,
do a
like
a German
like an
Lion
Ace
King,
Ventura or something, like
Mm,
something that
good
makes me
call.
laugh.
That's
It's a very good
fairly-
answer.
That's a good answer.
Dude, do the fucking Scar. Liar on top of him. Can you do it? So, dude, he's set because we've had nights we've just listened to like Phil Collins and fucking Peter Gabriel and shit, right?
Yeah.
And we've discussed like how epic the Tarzan soundtrack was, Phil Collins, and he did the whole thing in German, dude. Like no.
For the German movies, he translated the lyrics for this. Well, someone translated them. He learned the lyrics in German and recorded them in German as well.
Es wird keine
To make the
Party
German-
geben, you know, like.
to make
Wow.
this German version of the
But
songs.
there's a scene in because Phil watched The Lion King when he was still in Deutschland, and
Oh, you would
there's
have
a
done.
there's a scene when Simba's an adult now and he's fighting Scar right at the end. And what's the famous line?
Yeah, the end scene where he's like, "I killed Mufasa," where he's about to toss Simba off the
Wow,
Pride
yeah,
Rock,
what
and
a
he's like,
cunt.
"No!" And there's a flashback, and he
That's
jumps up,
mean.
and he's like, "Murderer!" And when I first saw it in English, I was like, "Oh, murderer!" It sounds so like weak and soft because in German, I mean, he's yelling 9, so it's not as good as no.
I think 9's pretty cool. 9.
It's almost the same, but you just got to drop that N at the end.
But
You got
But
well,
in
it's like,
Germany, in German,
yeah.
murderer is
What is
just murder. So you don't have to say the second er. So he like chokes him out and he's like, murder! And I was like, that's way more powerful than the English
Murderer.
murderer.
Well, I think it's like Americans saying dramatic.
Except the
What was-
line.
What was Lion King? That was
Shakespeare. It was
Um,
Romeo and Juliet.
No, it wasn't.
No,
Romeo
it
and
was
Juliet.
Macbeth.
It wasn't Macbeth.
It was Macbeth.
No, it
The-
wasn't
What?
Macbeth. It was
Killed-
Othello. No, it was
No, killed the father.
No, it was Hamlet.
It was Hamlet.
Hamlet.
Sorry, Hamlet. And the second one was Romeo and Juliet.
There was a second Lion
There was
King.
a second Lion King. like,
Really? How
Scar-
is it Romeo and Juliet?
Because Scar's war party, his pack, were still fighting with Simba's. There was bad blood because Scar died.
And he wants to shag
And he-
Scar's
and he
packs.
fell in
chick.
love. Yeah, no,
Is
Simba's
number 2?
Simba's son fell in love with the enemy's daughter. It was like the Capulets and the
Wait, isn't number 2 the one with the little cub that's a guy and he's got like the scars?
yeah, and he falls in love with
Oh, I don't
with an
even
enemy
remember.
clan's.
Yeah.
You
youngest,
guys,
yeah.
I didn't know this film existed.
Yeah,
It's-
number,
I think
there's
it's
a number
called
2.
Was Elton John involved in this?
I
one
have
as
no,
well?
probably not. But also,
making
I knew that there
potions
was
in a traveling shoe.
do you know that? Do you know there's a third movie which
Whoa.
sounds way more interesting, which I also haven't watched, but it's
Timon
it's
and
the
Pumbaa.
first story, yeah, in Timon and Pumbaa's
Pumbaa's.
perspective. So how good
That
is
sounds
that? Like,
trash, dude. I would never.
but
From
that'd
their
be so
perspec-
funny from their perspective. Like they're
They're all
living
just
their
like,
life,
We're gonna
and
do
then
it
they
from
meet
their
this lion.
perspective.
And then they
So-
meet this lion, and then the lion, they're best friends with him. And then the chick comes back and is like, Simba, what are you doing? You're gonna come back. And they're like, oh man, we're losing our friend.
I thought there was a TV show.
No, I think it's a
The
it's
whole
a
man,
film.
Simba.
Timon,
What
it was a
did you-
Disney show. The whole perspective of the show is just them looking up at the back of this cat's asshole while
Exactly.
it moves around. They're like, Timon and Pumbaa. Yeah. Dude, I gotta going back to it. Like, I think so. I didn't mention this earlier, but like, I grew up watching Jim Carrey and Adam Sandler and Chris Farley films. Like, my favorite actor of all time is Chris Farley. Like, he is my spirit animal. As
Yeah.
odd as that sounds, but like if let's say I was a big time actor and I went to Oscars and won an award, and they were like, "Oh, you could give a speech," I'd thank Chris Farley, Jim
Farley.
Carrey, and Adam Sandler. Obviously, Adam Sandler's dropped off, and the quality of his films is shit compared to his '90s films. I
He
liked
did
I
do
liked Uncut Gems from
yeah.
A24. It's one of the only A24 films I like, and like I give every movie its due. Right, I've watched all of them, Midsummer, all that stuff. But
I'm very anti Adam Sandler, by the way.
but like
Yeah.
I really like that response, like, because I feel like if I had no other choice and all the films that I wanted were removed, I would easily just say Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, When Nature Calls,
Which one?
Billy Madison.
Which one are you choosing?
Oh, When Nature Calls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Is that
got-
the what's the first one?
That's the
Pet
one where he's in
Detective.
Miami
Oh,
and he's
yeah.
kicking
When
the
Nature
box around
Calls,
at
the
the
one
start.
with
What's
the
the one when he
tribes.
comes out of the arsehole? That's the first
Yeah,
one.
No,
that's
that's
the
the
second.
second.
That's a
Oh.
funny thing. When I grew up, I
thought
saw
that
the
that
jungle
was the
one
first
first,
one.
Same.
Yeah.
and I saw the one where he's in Miami second.
Yeah, same.
So the first one with Dolphin,
Mm.
guns digging into my hip. That was the first one, and then the second
Yeah.
one, he's like fully. Yeah. God, I'm good. Yeah. Yeah. That's where they're raising on your palm. Yeah.
thought you'd never ask.
So, and then the second one, he's obviously in the jungle. Shakaka. Yeah.
The
That's
jungle
classic.
one, yeah. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
it's a more enjoyable watch. But
I met the director of those films.
get fucked.
yeah.
Where?
In San Jose, I was at a stupid film festival,
Wow.
and he did like a lecture or whatever it is. And
What was
then
his
we
name?
just I can't remember his name.
Do you know though that
That's
Ace Ventura?
amazing. This is. I need to hear this.
Yeah.
Like, no, you may laugh, but to me, this is everything
so
to me.
he
Sorry,
had like
dude.
a mental.
Yeah, no, story time. Yeah.
He was just really rich because he made Ace Ventura films, and then he had like, he like told this story. He's like, I was doing a poo in my house, and I think he was like unmarried and everything, or like divorced, as you know, people in LA are living the life. And then he's like, I'm just doing a poo in my mansion. And I realized that it's like an 8-bedroom mansion and there's like all these like multiple pools and things. He's like, I'm the only one here in this really large estate. And he's like, I'm going to help the world. And I'm like, oh, what? Why do you want to help the world, mate? You got the whole mansion that you're doing the poo in. And you got all the pools. It's good, isn't it? Invite someone over.
What was his
you know?
idea of helping the world?
So he did like, I think he just went on like one of those like vegan adventures.
What is
And then
it?
he, like,
What
give
is
back
one
to
of those
Africa
So he
and
didn't
stuff.
fucking help anyone.
I don't know. Yeah, it was just like, oh, you're having a midlife crisis. You know, like, everyone like it's interesting just seeing all the celebrities when they hit their midlife crisis and start like arcing up about like a particular cause and things.
Mm.
But he gave away like all of his, all of his wealth. I don't know,
Yeah.
but he was like a very, pleasant person to.
Did you actually have a face-to-face
Yeah,
convo
yeah.
with him?
Because it was all like because it's America, you just end up like at a restaurant in a booth.
Just
having
despite
chats.
despite his egotism, were you kind of a little bit intimidated? Like you did this, like
I didn't ever really feel like that.
I think I would have not so much him as a human being, but the weight of what he was involved in and how much it influenced me. I think I'd still be a bit starstruck.
Well, it's amazing that he did. Like he's obviously extremely talented.
But he seemed like the.
But it was just like watching, like, oh, you did, it's like meeting, like, oh, you run like a big famous, you're the CEO of Woolworths or Bunnings or something.
like it's
like,
epic, but you're not
really
you're not
love
shit.
that.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
still
Great, good job.
still a lot better though.
And now you're having a mental breakdown and told me a story about
When you took a shit, yeah.
you were like, I had a moment where I was doing a poo and I was like, why do I have all of this spell? I
so
need to give it away. And I'm
It's
like, don't worry about it.
don't fucking
Yeah,
worry about it.
wipe
just
your ass
enjoy it.
next time.
Don't
Yeah,
worry
Just
about it.
enjoy it.
I can smell it on you.
I think he made
So-
like a documentary about him giving up all because like if
Ah.
you're gonna give up your wealth,
You got to make,
Make
a
a
documentary.
documentary
about
Wouldn't
it
it be funny if
so
you
that
made
you
a
can make
doco?
more wealth
yeah,
off the documentary?
yeah.
Absolutely.
Genius.
Makes sense. Genius
Amazing.
idea.
well
um,
done.
But the funny story with Ace Ventura was Jim Carrey for Dumb and Dumber. They wanted him for Dumb and
Great
Dumber,
movie.
and they offered
Absolutely.
him stupidly little money. And then he was like, "Nah, I'm not going to do that." And they were like, "Oh, okay, fine." Or I can't remember. It's either they wanted him and he said no, or they made the first one and then they were like, "Oh, we want you for the second one," but he was like, "Nah,
Jim
fuck that."
Carrey,
Yeah,
but he wasn't all of them.
yeah. So he said, "No, I'm not going to do it because you're not offering me enough money."
Mm.
And then they were like, "Oh, okay, well then fuck you." And then he made S Ventura, and then he blew up. And then they were like, "Well, we really need you now." And he was like, "Well, now it's going to cost you this much." And then they
Nah.
paid him
Shut
Yeah, well,
the
he was
fuck
way
up.
more money.
He was the highest paid movie actor
Yeah.
of the 90s
No
Yeah.
shit.
because everyone would want to have a look.
Everyone want to
course.
see.
Yeah.
Love that.
Truman Show, fucking amazing.
Now,
Best thing he's
Loved
ever
it.
Mm.
done.
Joel,
Yeah.
what's your? You're about to die. What's your favorite? Well, actually, that's two separate
You're
questions
gonna
now.
Oh, mine's
You're
so
about
easy.
to die.
Mine's
That's not
so
even a
easy.
question.
What is it?
What's your favorite film?
So I just gotta give a long-winded answer real quick. Obviously,
Real
like,
quick.
Real
like
quick,
I,
please.
3 hours
I have
later.
so many films that touch me. Like, and again, like Phil said, like if it was like I could do any kind of '90s Jim Carrey, Adam Sandler film, right? Chris Farley film, but I've got a long history of like family members that served in the war, so I grew up being very patriotic and Anzac Day and stuff,
Beautiful.
and so and me and my brother were always like playing war and like playing with my grandfather's medals and like just like crazy love it. So
Nice.
Saving Private Ryan's has never changed. It's always been my favorite film. Like Steven Spielbergo,
Ah,
you've got D-Day, which
that
is
was Italian, wasn't it?
yeah,
That
it's a
is very-
Simpsons reference. Senior, he's like Mr. Burns is like trying to enter the film competition. He's like, oh, get Spielberg. He's like, we can't get him. He's like, get the second best. It's like a Spanish director, Steven Spielbergo, and it's
Oh,
like
right.
him, but like yeah. You've got Spielberg. You've got Year 2000, which was like still on film and all that shit. You've got the Battle of Normandy and D-Day, not Normandy necessarily, and you've got all these up and coming actors.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
that was so.
and like Vin Diesel's first big film. Like you saw Vin Diesel's
Was Vin Diesel in Saving Private
yeah,
Yeah.
Ryan?
Comparso, yeah.
There was a whole bunch of like big star
yeah.
actors that weren't big star just
Quite
yet.
Tell me
yet.
you've seen Vin Diesel's short film on YouTube that he made.
No.
Okay,
No.
hang on. I'm going to give you some homework. You have to watch this. It goes for about 15, 20 minutes.
Mm.
He made his own, he funded his own little short film because he's living in New York doing theater.
Yeah.
And
Vin Diesel.
yeah, Vin Diesel. And you watch this and you're like,
Fast and Furious to Vin
yeah,
Diesel.
no,
Mm.
you watch this and it's
An
like,
actor.
he
Just a
plays
mere
he
actor
plays
in
an
New York.
actor going to auditions and like, you know, navigating that. And then on the end, like he does this audition. They're like, yeah, we really want you for this like music video. I think Vin Diesel, you never think of it. I think Vin Diesel's actually half African American.
Mhm.
And so he like in the movie, he really leans on the fact that he's like half black and he's like this thing, right? So it's when you look at it, it's still Vin Diesel, but there's a real theatrical side to him that you've never seen before. I shit you not.
That would be weird to
Mm.
watch.
It is weird, but it's remarkable. It's actually beautiful. So he does that.
Mm.
Tours around New York. Everyone in New York sees it and goes, wow. Spielbergo sees it. Steven Spielberg and goes, fuck, that's right. Casts him for Saving Private Ryan, and that's when he kicked off, right?
Which is crazy because
yeah.
he's dead
yeah.
Well, he did
in that
his
movie.
was his big. What was the movie? The sci-fi film that they filmed in the desert in Australia.
Oh, Pitch Black.
Pitch Black.
Hell yeah. Before
Great
Pitch Black.
movie.
Before Saving Private Ryan came out before
It's
Pitch Black,
very
I think.
cheesy to watch now.
Oh,
but
no, I
kind of
love it,
like a
dude.
pleasure.
One of my guilty pleasures is the Riddick Chronicles of Riddick
I didn't
franchise.
really like anything after
Pitch Black. Yeah. I get it.
This is a while ago though. I haven't.
Yeah. So
I'm pretty easily pleased these days.
Chronicles of Riddick was super Hollywood cheese, and then
Mm.
they brought out Riddick maybe in like 2013 or something. It was a bit shit. It was like they were just trying to get the old fan base into it. However,
Yeah.
on Xbox 360, they released 2 Riddick games, right?
Mm.
So Vin Diesel created his own video game company. I can't remember what it's called.
They made a video game company.
He made 2 Chronicles of Riddick video games. The first one is Escape from Butcher Bay, and the second one's called Assault on Dark Athena, which is named after a ship. And the whole dude, here's the thing, right? In the movies, I love talking about this. In the movies, Riddick's character, Vin Diesel's character Riddick, he's like, I'm gonna do this and that. He's like quiet, but he's got a bit of like a cheekiness to him. It's like approachable but still frightening. In the games, it's poetry. So in the entire game, you can take, if you're in like a lit area like this, you put the goggles on, or if you're in like a dark corridor, you can pull it up and you can go see night vision.
Mm.
And the whole thing's narrated. And this isn't just like the movie Vin Diesel's Riddick. It's poetic. Whoever wrote the script for this video game is a fucking legend, because he'll sit there and like he'll come up to a guy and like kill a guy and take his weapons, and he'll be like, and he's like, it's not like real upbeat. It's like he's narrating to himself. He's like a gangster poet, dude. It's beautiful. I got to show you. He's like, no law ever written is as powerful as cold steel. Like that Vin Diesel. No law ever written is as powerful as cold steel. Essentially saying you can put laws on me, but that won't defeat me stabbing you with a knife. Cold steel. And it's just the whole game. It's just like this, and me being a little kid, being like, "Fuck, this is sick," you know. It was awesome.
It was very just like a Clint Eastwood character, but with like a bloke that's been to the gym and he's on
Pure
Been to the
nerdy.
gym
It's
and
pure nerd macho shit, but
Mm.
like it's what a young high school kid playing Xbox needed.
hell yeah.
My second favorite film, and it goes down a list.
No, what was it? So the first one was
Saving Private Ryan.
Private
And
Ryan.
you were
Sorry.
fond of that film?
Yeah, I really love it.
Did you see Enemy at the Gates with Jude Law, the Russian?
That is
yeah,
a
the
sick
Stalingrad?
sniper one. Yeah,
Sick film.
Love Enemy at the Gates.
It's a bit dreary.
It's a bit too
Yeah.
dramatic too. I felt like it was like a love story.
Who made that?
That's the sniper one,
That
right?
was like
It's
a
a sniper
I
one.
th-
Yeah,
yeah, that's a
where the guy's like,
fucking-
"I'll show you where the sniper is," and he's like,
yeah,
and he just gets shot through the head, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Fucking hell, you didn't have to do
brilliant.
that."
he's
no,
like loving
Calm
gifts,
down.
pouring gifts. Yeah. Don't do that. Yeah.
or when they jump
Ed
the gap,
Harris, bro.
when they jump the gap, Nome just gets nailed against
Yeah.
the wall. I'm
Ron
like,
Perlman.
"Oh,
Ron
God."
Perlman.
I
Yeah.
don't want to be. I just don't want to be involved. Or maybe I
No.
would be. Maybe it'd be like just trying to go to work, and then there's sniper
You
shoots
get
you.
done
Here,
in.
here,
Fucking
here we
piss
are,
off.
like, oh fuck, I hate going to work so much. Next minute,
Well, we're in
you
a
got to
fly
go to
plague
war.
at the moment. It's like trying to fucking walk from Green Square Station to fucking work, and there's like, just getting chased down the road by flies.
Yeah. The emphasis they put on Ed Harris's face. You know Ed Harris, the actor. You know him if I showed him, but Ed Harris, because he's got these very blue eyes,
Mm.
and so they put a
Who's
lot of
Ed Harris again?
Is he the old sniper?
yeah. He's
Yeah.
the German. Yeah.
He's the German sniper in Enemy at the Gates.
They
What
put.
does
A,
he look like?
I'll show you.
It's
Give me
been a
one second.
while.
yeah, he's very iconic.
They put a lot of emphasis on Ed Harris's
There you are, Ed Harris. I know. who
Yeah,
you
there he
are.
is.
I know who you are.
You know exactly who he is.
Focus camera.
Kimra.
That's Ed Harris.
Yeah, we know Ed
So
Harris.
Ed Harris has these like crystal blue eyes, so they put a lot of focus on that. But Saving Private Ryan for me is like it's an emotional journey. Like I get anxious every time I watch it because I know most of the characters die. And that one scene where Oppum, the little fucking pussy translator, won't shoot the gun, and the German dude's wrestling with the Jewish American dude, and he
Yeah.
puts the knife in him. So he's like, no. And he's copping it. Like I still get. I'm like, oh, I hate watching this. Like
I remember it starting kind of quite.
on D-Day on
No,
Omaha
it,
Beach.
it opens with them whenever the film came out, and he's old.
oh
and
yeah,
and he's like falls to his
Matt
knees.
Damon's character. Yeah.
But yeah, and Matt Damon's got some Play-Doh on his face.
No, that was a
He's like
straight up.
Some aging
old actor,
later.
yeah.
Yeah,
They did well for casting though.
yeah. I thought it was just Matt Damon with some Play-Doh on his face.
I think it is Matt Damon, is it not?
I know they did it for Chris Evans in the Avengers, which I thought
was all
I
CGI.
thought that was CGI, but no, I'm pretty sure it's an old actor.
No, that is CGI.
it is, but it's
The
still
Avengers
Chris
one.
Evans.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was an old guy. That's
Nah.
that's how good I thought the
Because
CGI was.
everyone was raving on about how good the CGI was, and so I was looking out for it, and then I was like, I can still fucking tell.
No, I
They
didn't
should
even
have done
notice.
Play-Doh.
Didn't even
Can you
notice, bro.
CGI my face? this podcast.
Probably. my first attempt.
Yeah.
Yeah, blip. I'm a big sci-fi guy, as we obviously discussed Warhammer originally. But if Saving Private Ryan or even Enemy at the Gates didn't exist, I'd say my favorite film of all time. And I mean, I'd say I love Saving Private Ryan, but I'd say this is just a microscopic grain of sand just underneath Saving Private Ryan, which is Fifth Element. Fifth Element is
There's
just
a goodie in it.
cinematic
Also, just
magic. It's just
like,
grit.
they're actually just so much fun. That was like
It's
the
so
whole
fun.
90s thing that I was sort of
Yeah.
leaning on a little bit before.
Mm.
Like they're just so like great story or bits and bobs happening. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
great, and it's just
Costumes.
That's the one you've been telling me about, and I
Soundtrack.
still haven't
Mm.
watched.
You
Yeah.
haven't seen Fifth Element?
No,
Oh my
you've been
god, you're
telling
gonna
me,
love it,
yeah.
dude.
oh, dude,
Dude,
you
Luc
gotta-
Besson, all Luc Besson's film, like Leon the Professional.
Yeah,
It's got this dark, grainy mold on the wall, yellowness. So it's like sci-fi.
but really,
It's like
it's just like the kineticism behind it, just like this. 'Cause it's got the guy from Rush Hour.
yeah.
What's his name? And he's
Chris
got the
Tucker.
big dick fucking
Corbin
thing.
Dallas, the winner of the Gemini Cricket. Yeah,
Yeah,
his
that
name's
guy.
Ruby Rod. Yeah, dude. Honestly, because like my favorite African American actor next to James Earl Jones is always Chris Tucker. Like Friday, Rush Hour, growing up with all
What
those
happened
films.
to him? He just
He's just doing it. He's healthy, man. I got him on Instagram. I talked to him. Nah, he's doing his own thing. But like, so like,
we hang out.
essentially, Bruce Willis is ex-military, right? And there's this ancient alien species that have this like ancient weapon that they've unlocked, and
this
these
isn't in real life.
Yeah.
This is the film.
in this
Yeah,
the
yeah.
film, yeah.
Bruce Willis is very ill in real
Yeah.
life. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, he's got Alzheimer's.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
does, poor guy.
Ex-military.
He's like non-verbal now, apparently.
Dude, young Mila
Oh, fucking hell.
Djokovic, fucking yeah. It's just, dude, Fifth Element is such a good
I
film.
know you've showed me clips and stuff.
And dude, Gary fucking Oldman plays it. Dude, Gary Oldman
Oh
said
yeah.
Gary Oldman was doing that film. So Gary Oldman did a film called Leon the Professional, and it's got do you remember the Matthew Broderick Godzilla from the 2000s, the American one?
Oh yeah, the one that ends in Madison Square Garden.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
shit.
Do you remember the
that's sick
Do you remember the
Godzilla.
French tactical squad that with him? And the main French guy at the end, he's like on the payphone. Remember that actor?
Mm.
What's his
No,
name?
but
He's like
I
a
don't
really
know.
famous. You know him
In
from
France.
other stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I know.
He's
his,
famous everywhere.
His head.
Yeah. But he played
look it up.
he played
Keep
a
going.
movie, and Natalie Portman, young Natalie Portman's first film, where she was a little nipper, was in it. And then Gary Oldman plays this like corrupt CIA agent, right? You know that scene in Leon the Professional where Gary Oldman takes the pill and he's like cracks it in his mouth, and he's like,
Mm.
I love this moment. It's like cicadas in the grass. You know, he freaks out and he's like, yeah.
Gary
that guy.
Oldman was just like a British Al Pacino.
He's the War
And then he
Master,
got
bro.
old.
Yeah.
But Al Pacino's always just stayed being like, like
Yeah.
just loud.
Great
and-
ass. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that scene
Into
where
his old age.
in the scene, I'll have to show you Leon the Professional, Gary Oldman, he's like needs to calm himself down. He takes like a yellow green, like, do you know the typical like Acme Hollywood tablets? It's like half yellow, sorry, half white, half red. It's like,
Yeah,
take
yeah,
a pill.
yeah.
Yeah. He's got like one of those and he takes it and he goes, and the camera's like birds on. He's like, cracks it in his mouth and swallows it. He's really uncomfortable. It turns out
I
that
think you
Gary
showed me
Oldman
this.
struggles to swallow tablets. So that reaction was real. That's him just going, I fucking hate this. Like he can't swallow tablets. So they did that
Doesn't
film,
like tablets.
and Gary Oldman popped off. Yeah, you fucking lightweight. And then later on, they were like, Luc Besson, the French director's like, hey, and you can see one thing I love, like when I watch, and forgive me, I'm rambling here, but I get so enthusiastic
passionate
about this
about
stuff. Yeah. When you watch some
Besson.
directors, you can see, you're like, okay, I can see a pattern in the way it's scripted and written. Like a Tarantino film, you know you're going to get quick shots and blood and gore. But and other films you'll watch and you'll be like, oh, you know, this director did this, but his film's so the contrast is different. When you watch a Luc Besson film, you know it's his. Like it's just got this grimy grit. It's just like a gooey fucking. Anyways, he makes this film called Fifth Element. He says, Gary Oldman, can you play the villain? And Gary Oldman didn't even want to do it. He did it as a favor
Mm.
because Luc Besson's obviously a mate of his. And he's fucking the villain Zorg is phenomenal, dude. It is so good. He's like, you're a
What's
monster, Zorg. I know. Like this is fucking.
It's like the whole thing is like we're gonna blow Earth up, and there's like a giant fireball. That's it, right?
It's like this.
The-
It's like this. Sentient
They're like,
fire
we're
evil
gonna
thing.
get Earth,
Yeah. It's coming.
and then everyone's got to be like, oh, stop it.
Everyone's like, all right, we got to.
Why do you have to oversimplify it like that?
Brilliant.
Well,
Stop
you
it.
don't. You'd be
Don't
like,
be silly.
Fucking hell! You sat in your backyard.
Yeah, like fucking.
But
Wait,
who else would you want to save the planet than fucking Bruce Willis and Chris
He's done it.
Tucker?
He's done it
Yeah.
a couple of times.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right,
Bro.
Bruce, good old
Yeah.
Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Can you save me? I don't want to put up
Can't
with
let
it
the
now.
same shit happen to the same guy twice.
I really
Die
got to take
Hard.
a slash. Can we cut for a second and
I
then I'll
Yeah,
come
we'll
back?
take a slash.
You gotta
Take a
go,
slash
sorry?
break, toilet break. But Joel, while you were on the toilet, I was just saying, like
On
the
the
movies,
toilet.
the films on the toilet,
What
in
were
the
you thinking
bathroom.
about?
Mhm.
We were just discussing the films and the age. So the 257 films, and I've said this to Joel multiple times,
Mm.
where I don't think I very much enjoy any films that are like older. I used to say
What does
older
that
than
older mean?
I used to say older than 1990, but then I realized that Back to
Star
the Future
Wars.
was 1985, and I'm a
Oh.
big Back to the Future fan. I do not like Star Wars, and I've never
'Cause it's
watched the
too
Star Wars
old.
films.
Why
No,
don't
not
you?
because it's too old. I just never got into Star Wars.
But you just haven't watched them though.
No.
So you haven't
I've s-
gotten into
Well,
them
I've
because you
seen
haven't
bits of
watched
them, and I'm like, eh.
Let me ask you, so I can answer from an actor's perspective
Mm.
why I love older films, and you can answer from a writer and a director's perspective.
Yeah.
So, first and foremost, I'd say from my perspective, I've studied acting, and obviously I grew up watching more modern actors, so I see how they interpret things using older techniques like we joked about Stanislavski and stuff. But when I watch, and I do dabble in writing as well, so when I watch an older film, it's almost like looking at a time machine of how people used to conceptualize and understand things back in the day.
Mm.
So even if someone wrote a film in the 1930s that was set in the 1600s, it's still interesting to see how history, our perception of history has changed for them and for us. Like,
Mm.
and also the actors, like you've got actors, especially Americans, old American actors from the earlier films like Casablanca and stuff. They all talk like this. Come here, Georgie, I'm gonna talk to you. No, Red, you can't do that. No, darling, I'm gonna do that. But
I wish I talked like that.
yeah. But if you watch
I don't know.
if you watch especially European films, especially English and stuff, there's just it's because I'm a lover of theater. It's just really you might look at it and go, oh, they're a bit too emotional when they move and stuff.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you really look at it, if you can understand what an actor has to go through to get to that point where they are inhibiting that character,
Expressing it that way.
then you're like, these are such. It's just like very broad brushstrokes on a canvas. Where someone these days might be very fine because actors these days are very refined and we're very like, oh, people aren't going to think this is realistic, so I have to make this as real as possible.
Yeah.
But back then, it was like Jim Carrey's colorfulness, right? But it made so much sense for the character they were playing.
Well, that's what fascinates me about Jim Carrey's colorfulness, though, because he has managed to do this extreme over the top acting and still have it seem normal and make sense in the scene. Like
Mm.
you watch it and go, yeah, this completely works. But if you watched it in isolation and were critical about it, you're like, what the fuck is he doing? Like he's so over the top, but he manages to make it so like it just blends so well into the story and whatever line he's portraying
Yeah,
that you're like,
and
oh, okay, I'm just going to accept his overacting.
I don't
But
thi-
but a Jim Carrey film. So when you make a film, it's like going to cost you a shitload of money, and you have to make lots of films because people want to watch them. But especially back then, it was all about like what's the big July releases and the summer releases, what's the autumn and the Christmas releases and all that sort of stuff. And you have to build things around a particular kind of thing that's going to attract audiences. So you can't just make anything. And with Jim Carrey, it was literally built around him
Yeah,
being
him.
him.
being
And
over
so
the top and hilarious. Yeah.
and so you like apply like a very kind of, light narrative to that and sort of narrative thrust to it. And all it is, it's just tiny little vignette sort of set pieces. And you could replace that with like an action film. There's the action scene here, there's the action scene there, and there's all the little crossover scenes and handover scenes between them that link the story together. The act one, and then act two, part one, act two, part two, and then Martyr, act three. but they just did it around instead of it being an action movie or a horror film where you need the scares here, you need the laughs here. You know, it was all just built around him. Like he was
Yeah.
the vehicle, and that's what made him so brilliant and powerful. He was just such a force of that fucking, you know, a billion people around the world are like, I know this bloke's name and I love
Yeah.
him. He's gonna make me laugh. And they just spend all this money creating this, like, you know, 2 hour spectacle. And that's why it's so astounding, because you know the reason why you're like, I don't get it, because you know what at the back of your mind, whether you've like thought about it philosophically before, you're like, I know what a movie is and like kind of what the gist of it is, and like it's a story and it has to like be about 2 hours long or whatever it is. But they made this whole thing literally about like fucking Jim Carrey doing some
Random shit.
random weird funny
So it's
shit.
almost like they've glued skits together, but made them essentially make sense in a whole
Yeah,
story.
but it's
It's a story, though,
but
right?
done in like a really precise and brilliant way, because he wasn't just a guy having a spaz out in front of a camera with like a, you know, a story. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Mm.
He was excellent. Well, he is excellent.
Mm.
But back then it was just like the first time you could really structure a whole film on that size, a comedy film on that size, around one person and their individual skill. If you
Mm.
switched him out for it, you go, oh, I can't get Jim Carrey, we'll stick in old mate instead. It just
Wouldn't
there's
work.
no one else.
I think we also I think just realizing now, I think we also need to give a lot of props to the other actors involved in most Jim Carrey films, because they just enhanced
not
his
laugh.
performance.
And not
Yeah.
laugh. Yeah.
Yeah, and they were obviously like, because like Victor and Einhorn, when that chick's like, you know, he's like,
Finkel,
she's
Finkel and Einhorn.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's got a wiener and all that shit, like, and like thanks, Aguado, like the cop, and like the you make me
And
laugh,
just the
chick.
fact that
All those people just were great.
they have to like step back and take a piece of humble pie and be like, okay, this movie is literally about this bloke doing his thing, and where does the add-ons here?
Yeah, well, that's what you got to do. That's what most actors
We're
say.
just supporting
Most
it.
mature
Yeah.
actors, most mature actors come to the realization, especially working with good directors and writers, is that you have to sacrifice your ego and be part of the story.
Yeah.
Stop acting like you're the
But
main
it doesn't-
character.
Yeah,
But it would be
everything is,
more
though.
difficult if you're like a decently known actor, but then you have to work alongside Jim Carrey and you know that the shit's all about Jim Carrey.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Mm.
You remember? We all know what Tommy Lee Jones said about Jim Carrey when they filmed Batman Forever. Remember?
No,
You
what
never
did
said
he
that?
say?
Dude, Tommy Lee Jones. Remember he played Two-Face,
Mm.
and Jim Carrey played the
The
Riddler.
Riddler?
Tommy Lee
Mhm.
Jones hated Jim Carrey.
He wasn't up for it.
You can watch it on YouTube. I can't remember verbatim, but he says
Thought he
something
was a bit
like,
annoying.
I can't abide by your stupidity."
Oh.
So Jim Carrey was like filming at the time, and then he went into a restaurant and Tommy Lee Jones was there, and he's like, "Oh fuck!" He walked over. He's like, "Hey Tommy," and Tommy's like, and Jim Carrey literally says like, he's like, looks at him like, "Fuck," and he like gets up and he goes up to him. He's like, I can't accept your stupidity. Like I hate you." And Jim Carrey's like, "Fuck, dude, what the fuck?" And then like they obviously finished the film. But what I wanted to say is, think of all your most favorite actors these days, right? You've got your Jim Carreys, let's say you like your DiCaprios, your McConaughey's, whatever.
Mm.
All of those actors grew up watching and idolizing the films that we're talking about, that you say you
Yeah,
can't watch.
I
So you like, I know, again, like it's
You
all
should feel bad, Phil.
yeah, no,
no,
I'm not,
I completely
I'm not saying
understand
that,
it.
but like I got to say is like the influence is there.
The influence
Like,
is there.
You may watch a Jim Carrey, and then you may watch like Buster fucking Keaton,
Jeez.
one of Buster Keaton films, and be like, "Holy fuck, dude, he's doing what Jim Carrey does."
Yeah.
And then it all clicks, you know?
Yeah,
You find those little things you like about someone that you can admire about someone else, and then you're in, right?
I'm not saying that I think those movies are bad. I see the influence, I see the art, and I see the acting. I'm just saying that I can't sit down and take them in and enjoy them and get enthralled by it.
That's fair.
And that's purely the same thing I have with music. Like I do a lot of music stuff, and I really like modern music just
Mm.
because it has a much fuller, louder sound that just
Crisper
fills the
sound.
sound space. So I'm just immersed in it. And then I listen to an old song and I'm like, that is a brilliant song, but it just doesn't immerse me. Like,
Mm.
it's brilliantly made, but I wish that band from the 80s would re-record everything with modern technology and just make my brain explode with new sounds.
How good is it these days? Like I remember being a young kid, right? I remember being like 10 or 11 and watching The Thing, watching The Lost Boys, watching Apocalypse Now, and like with my old man, like that's my old man was like the guy who got me in all these films. Like I'd wake up at Saturday morning and watch like Saturday Disney, like on
Mm.
Channel 7 or 10, right? And then I'd sit there and like my old man would finish the yard work and he'd come in for lunch and we'd watch like an old film, right?
Mm.
Loved it. We'd watch the old black and white Adams Family or fucking Lost in Space or something.
Yeah.
So I props to my old man for but
Good man. Yeah.
yeah, fuck yeah. Where was I? What was my but
Music being immersed, new
yeah,
sounds.
fuck,
You were
what was I
talking.
saying?
Yeah, you were getting nostalgic.
I fucking lost it. I've lost it. I'm
It's
Your
fine
train
because
of-
I
I'm
want to.
pissed, fellas.
Speaking of directing, because Joseph, you've done mostly or all horror movies.
Yeah, any horror film.
Yeah. And you've got one coming out soon. It's
Yeah.
still in post production.
No, it's finished.
It's finished.
Yeah,
So is it you're ready to release
been
or
finished the whole
for ages?
fucking year, mate.
Oh, what the
Can
fuck
you
are
give
you
us
doing?
Can you give us a synopsis?
Yeah.
Or what's happening with it? Like why when is it being
Oh, so
released?
it's with a sales agent. We
Ah.
had to recut. Actually, we had to recut it in through August.
Why?
So we completed the film. It was delivered earlier this year, and then we went through a period of like reaching out to people who would buy it in the States, and just working with the EP and stuff. And so went through a lot of chats there, and I put it all on hold when the strike happened. Started
Still
over,
happening.
still happening. Thank God.
Mm.
And it's going to be annoying because we're going to run out of things to fucking watch,
Mm.
and that's the reason why. So I've got a film that's finished.
Yes.
So anyway, I was,
Cha-ching!
I was
Cha-ching.
like, well,
Do you have like a cha-ching sound?
I
yeah.
don't. I have a
That's the sound of maybe
Victory.
I'll make money.
Mm.
That's budum-tsh. I'm gonna make money. Budum-tsh. Yeah.
I remembered. So one real quick.
Mhm.
Cinema. I remember watching those older films when I was younger, and I realized that I'm never going to be able to watch those in cinemas because they're older films. But I realized Dendy and other films these days, other cinemas, they replay older films
Yeah.
now, and I love
Yeah.
that.
yeah.
Like I watched Apocalypse
cool.
Now. I watched Blade Runner. I've watched Blade Runner 3 on 3 separate occasions in the cinema now. The original Blade Runner, and I just
Brilliant.
thought it was great. Yeah.
I like going to the Randwick ones because they often get the prints.
Ritz.
Yeah, the Ritz.
That's where I
And-
watched Oppenheimer because they have the 70 mil.
Oh, did they actually play
You
a 70
motherfucker!
mil?
You didn't tell me they had 70 mil.
Yes, I told you that.
Because I remember watching the
Guaranteed.
Hateful Eight on the 70 mil
Oh, that would
there, and I was like, oh, it's pretty bright. Like it really it is. I don't ever go to the cinema anymore because I just think it's so
because of
shit.
that snow.
Well, I always just go to Dendy Newtown. Well, I live in Vienna
Likewise,
West. Go to
Dendy's my go-to. Yeah, in
and
Newtown.
I just stopped because there's too many fucking kids that rock up.
The
and then
screens are
just
too
have
small
a
too,
chat.
dude.
And it's like I just feel like I'm in a fucking living room with a
Yeah.
bunch of retards like having a chat.
I saw the new Batman with what's his name, Edward Harris,
Fucking Twilight.
Twilight. Yeah, I watched that,
Oh, that
dude,
one.
and
yeah.
the people were like legit talking.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? And then there was like girls in the back, and there was like a couple sitting 2 or 3 rows across me. I was like, what
Such an
fucking
emo
world
film.
do we live in? What?
I watched what was it? Under something, the Silver Lake, whatever it is.
Infinity Pool. Have you seen that?
I haven't seen it.
I watched Infinity Pool and Dendy and Netflix. Newtown Dendy. Do you know of that one?
What's
The one with
Infinity
Maya
Pool?
Goth.
What's that about?
You know Maya Goth, the chick, that wacko chick who's with not wacko, she's an amazing actress. She's with Shia LaBeouf. That's his wife, baby mama. And it's got Skarsgård, the Skarsgård who played Tarzan. You know that one, the hunk one, not the one who
Not
played,
the
not it.
it one.
Yeah. So
the hot one.
him and his missus go to like some fucking Georgian or Turkey holiday resort,
Mm.
and it's like a
Oh,
it's
I
like
know about
it's
this
a
one.
compound, and they
And there's some murders going
yeah,
on.
they break
Mm.
out with a couple of locals are like, hey, you guys bored in here? Do you want to come with us? Like not locals,
Oh
but
yeah, and then they
they go out there, they accidentally kill someone, and then the
Whoops.
feds are like,
Oh,
you
feds.
guys, like the local cops are like, you guys, we've caught you. You've accidentally done a hit and run and not reported it. You have to do a public execution where you're going to be killed, or we have this new machine where we can clone you, and then you can be
that's a
publicly
twist.
executed, but it's not you. And they literally clone Skarsgård and his missus, and they have to sit in the wings, and they're like, the clone's kind of like a newborn. They're like, their brain hasn't fully developed. And the guy who got hit and run, the local, his son, like stabs Skarsgård to death, and he watches it. And Mia Goth and the other rich people who like visit this place all the time are like, holy fuck, like, you guys have joined our crew. Let's go out more and kill people, and we just keep paying for our clones to be born and killed. And it's
Yeah.
hectic, dude. And Maya Goth is like a psycho in it. She's like, they basically end up belittling him and treating him like a monkey. And she's like, keep walking, you fucking idiot. She's sitting on the boot of this car drinking wine, and they're all drunk, and they're making Skarsgård like walk barefoot, and he's like exhausted, and she's like, "Hurry!" It's disturbing. It's a disturbing film. But
I've
I
had that night before.
I watched that at Dendy,
That was him
dude,
in
and
the
I was like,
boot, actually, with the wine.
yeah, true. London! Yeah. Sorry, I've gone off on a tangent. Let's get back to your
I wanna
most
hear about
recent
this
horror
film.
movie.
So,
Oh, what was
you
the
were talking to
call?
people that were going to buy it.
Oh,
And why did you have to re-edit?
No, it went to a sales agent, and they just had notes.
Mm.
And they're like, can we do this? Can you, it was basically just through the middle of the film, like through the belly of it. They just wanted to thin out some of the dialogue-y scenes, and I was like, fuck you. And then I did it, and I was like, this is better now. That was a good idea.
Respect.
These fucking guys that know movies, they know some shit.
Had
man.
you written the story?
Yeah, it
Did
was.
you write-
I wrote the whole. With that one, I wrote the whole. I usually co-write, because it's much nicer. Like it's nice to because you just go bringing over a couple of. I've got mates that I write with. Mainly my mate Leighton, come over, bring a couple of bottles of wine, boop,
Burp, burp.
boop, boop, and then I'm the structure person, and I usually write with a person who's usually like an actor or someone who's very more character focused, and then we get going. Where was I going with any of this? But
You had to
Right.
re-edit. Yeah.
anyway, the film's finished, and it's with a sales agent. It's going to be placed in a film festival, and they want to launch it next year.
It's got to be a
Nice.
hard pill to swallow, though. Like when you write something and someone picks apart your writing.
Well, that's why he was like, "Fuck you,"
Yeah.
and then
No,
once it was,
no. It's not hard. It's not. No, if anyone,
It's a learning experience, right? Because if they tell you to cut this and it's improved, you're like, interesting.
no,
I've-
yeah,
I've-
exactly. Well, I don't. The reason why I was like, "Fuck you," is I was like, I can't be fucked.
mm,
Yeah,
I'm pretty happy with
you had
it.
to
did
but
done
pay
with
for
it.
it to be recut.
Yeah, and so
right?
that which is like you are right, and that was a learning experience, because I was like, I'm just lazy, and I was working where we work right now, and was like,
Oh, this is
have
very
nothing
recent.
left to get. It was in August, yeah.
Oh
You're
yeah,
just
right.
knackered.
And so we signed with them, and then in July, and then I had to proceed with this new cut. It wasn't dramatic. It was I was quite clear with them that we weren't unlocking the edit to the extent where we're going to do quite like we're going to go into scenes and recut them, and in this sort of like really moving things around.
Mm.
It had to be like this time code to this time code, cut, delete, and snip together, because I couldn't with the sound post production, because it had already been mastered and 5.1 mixed in a cinema. I was like, I I'm not going back through like we moved this shot here and all
Mm.
this fucking bullshit and them being like, what the fuck have you done? Because it's like with these low budget films, like you shoot them like fucking lightning. Like we shot that film in 13 and a half days.
The
It's like-
whole film.
It's
Yeah,
like
the
the
whole film.
castle. The castle was shot in like 12 days on a budget of like 70K or something.
Yeah, just nothing. You just fucking push
Smash
through,
it.
man.
Yeah.
And you just get on.
What was
with
your
it.
budget? Sorry to cut you off.
Oh, the shooting budget was $8,000.
That's all right.
Whoa.
That's very easy.
Well, because I wasn't paying anyone.
Yeah.
That was for the catering, bit of petrol.
Yeah. Nice.
But I was, I had my mates that worked at, gear houses and got Alexas and all that sort of stuff,
Nice.
which was good. But yeah, no, we just, blasted through and shot it. Like I'm very like that's like my one little skill is I can shoot like very high quality very quickly.
Mm.
So it's like come together and like it does hold a level of quality. Obviously doesn't have any big cast in it, like with all the other films that I made. Particularly Observance, the last film that I made that was released, and you get like John Jarratt and guys like that in it. I don't know if you know who that is, but he's the guy in Wolf Creek.
The old bloke.
Yeah, the old boy.
You managed to get him in there.
Well, he's my friend. Yeah.
You
John, yeah.
motherfucker. How did you become friends with him?
Well, it was when I was still living in Queensland. Like a producer that I was friends with when I made a film, she got John involved, mates with John. Like he's my friend. And so I was like trying to figure out how to get him into this one, but there just wasn't really a place for it. And I didn't have any money. Not that, people pull favors and stuff, but
How confident are you that if you pull something decent off, you can get on Netflix? Like you can get one of your things on one of these streaming sites?
I don't know. That's not really, it's sort of beyond me. That's relationships that sales agents and distributors have.
I need to have a coffee with you one time. I need to download this information because like these are my goals to maybe do a bit of a web series situation for a while. Maybe
Don't do web series or short films. Just make a movie.
Why can I do web series to the point where I've got a bit of a following and then pitch something to Netflix?
No, you just make a movie and then you sell it. Because that's the curious thing. Like before, when I started, there was no such thing as fucking web series, like putting shit on YouTube and stuff. I was like, what? That was just like just Charlie bit my finger kind of bullshit
Mm,
back when I was young.
mm.
My viral video.
And Phil's viral video. What?
Have I shown you that? I've got a viral video. It's got like 8 million views, and the same agency that managed Charlie Bit My Finger contacted me, and I was like, yeah, sure. And they sold like licenses for Japanese TV shows to play my clip, and I got like $1,500 a pop. It was ridiculous.
Did you? How many? $1,500 is?
I made probably well over 10 grand from it.
Did you?
Yeah.
What happened in your?
It's
viral
a
video?
lizard playing like a game on a phone.
Candy
It
Crush.
was
or
my
something.
like pet lizard
Oh,
It was like licking his tablet.
licking
had like
the phone.
ants
I
coming
feel
up.
like
Like if
I've
you-
seen that.
Yeah,
but
if
I
you-
could be lying.
No, if you type in Bearded Dragon playing Ant Crusher, anyone
Can
listening,
you
this is my video,
viral
and it's now
video,
got
please?
11 years ago, and it's now got 8 million views.
Can I see it? I've seen this before.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, what a good lizard.
Nice film.
So
So you're
he's
saying
doing a really good job.
So you're saying
plenty
so-
of people that I've showed this to are like, I've seen that. Even people from overseas are like, I've seen that video.
8
How wild is
million.
that?
Is it because it would have been like put on other platforms, and so
Yeah,
you
yeah.
wouldn't see the full extent?
Yeah, so it was on 9MSN homepage when it first like blew up overnight. It was on like the overnight viral videos that had the most views in like 24 hours or something.
Wow.
And then it went like, yeah, a ton of people just took the video and uploaded it on their own channels.
Mm.
So then I realized how good YouTube is with that, with the automatic
Mm.
copyright infringement deletion, because like a bunch of them just got deleted like very quickly. So that was kind of cool. But the most money I made, like I made some ad revenue, but the most money I made was from this agency. It was called Viral Spiral at the time, and it's called something else now. But they were like, "Hey, we want to manage your video," and I got all the bunch of emails, and I read through all of them. I'm like, all right, these guys seem legit. They have like a portfolio. They manage Charlie Bit My Finger and all this shit. And I was like, "Yep, do it." And then they would just take 20%, and they'd be like, "Yep, this Japanese TV show wants to play your clip. We're going to sell it to
Mm.
them for $1,700. We take 20%. Here's your money." I was like, "Damn, son!"
Shit.
Hollywood. That's
Yeah.
just how it works.
So you're saying any kind of short film or web
Yeah,
series.
back to this.
Let's say I did a web series and I managed to get 270K followers, subscribers, and I'd get maybe about 400,000 views an episode after a while.
Mm.
Still a waste of time?
It's not,
Look
no,
at
it's
that,
not a
look at that
waste. It's
super
not a
wog.
waste of time. I don't want to say
Discourage
that, like,
me? No, it's fine. It's fine.
but the value of it, it's more of like, okay, you're going to go to the effort of making an episodic thing, right?
Mhm.
And there's really cool stuff that you can do with that. Like, I really like, as much as I dislike the ABC and just think it's really boring and gay, but it with it is. But they did this really interesting thing. It would have probably been a while ago. It's probably about 5 years ago now. Like them and Screen Australia were like, look, we're going to chuck down. Basically, oh, it's so complicated, but they formed Screen Australia. There was all these different funding bodies before then, and they had the 10BA certificate stuff. Basically just like you could make a film and it would kind of work like a massive tax rebate for investors and things like that. And then they formed Screen Australia in 2007 and they created the producers offset. Do you know about any of this shit? So it's really boring, but basically when you make a movie in Australia, you get a 40% producers offset. So that's basically if you make a film for $1 million, for example, which you wouldn't because it's not very much money because fucking films are just too fucking expensive. You can, but films are expensive and you have to pay people too much money.
How much did Wormwood cost, do you think?
Oh, that was low. I don't know if that was an offset film.
Yeah, go on. It's all good.
But anyway, offset basically, if you make a film for $1 million, and it hits certain metrics, so that means that it has to play in cinemas, like perhaps I think on more than 10 screens in Australia, and that you've got a qualified sales agent attached as well as a qualified Australian distributor. So just like a real distributor and a real sales agent. When you complete the film, they'll give you 40% of your budget. So if you make a film for $1 million, they will give you 400,000 back. If you make a film for $10 million, they will give you $4 million back. Where was I going with this? Oh, and so basically we were making Screen Australia was just going through this thing, from 2007, for I suppose the best part of 10 years where they were funding just feature films and all this sort of stuff. And spending millions and millions of dollars, and you sort of piece together. So, in terms of the actual budget, so you'd get 40% from the offset. You'd perhaps get some Screen Australia actual investment as well, and that could bring it to. I think Screen Australia is like we won't fund more than 50% of a film or something. Might be more than that. They won't fund more than 75 or something like that. Whatever it is. Oh, I can't remember. So it was like. They'll give you 40% offset. Screen Australia might chuck in another 25%. So what's that? 55%, 65%.
Yeah.
And then you might get 15% from a state government, which brings it to 90%?
65 plus 15,
It's
80%.
80%.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to go to the market. So you'd go to an Australian distributor and be like, can you give us $30,000 or any, what have you got? And then you go to the sales agent, and they'd maybe throw down 75 US, which could back then could have been $100,000 or $125,000, depending on the exchange rate, and that would complete the budget of the film. And they made fucking shitloads of them, and almost all of them fucking went to shit. The famous ones, I suppose, were Animal Kingdom that came out of that, the Babadook.
Animal
I
Kingdom,
did
like
see that
Ben
one.
Mendelsohn and Joel Edgerton.
Yeah.
Edgerton, yeah.
Um,
Babadook, I remember the horror one.
I
yeah.
remember that one. Yeah.
and there was some other ones, but I can't remember. But those were the sort of the big two that I'm sort of thinking of at the moment. But it was just incredibly unprofitable, and it was really inflating the costs of making things in Australia. And it's all their own fault. Like, as soon as the government seems to sort of get involved in anything, you create a 40% producers offset, and sort of naturally everyone's fees
Fuck, it
become
sounds
40%
horrible,
higher.
man.
What is
Everyone's
it?
fees go up because they're like, well, we know you're getting 40% of this from the government, so we
Yeah.
can charge 40%
I'm just
more.
an actor, bro. I don't want to think
Yeah,
about
so
this shit.
this what I want to chime in here, like that, I feel like these are two separate things that you're thinking of, because anyone with any budget can put up a YouTube series if that's what you want to do. And if you get, like you said, if you get 200,000 followers, that's nothing to sneeze at. Like, that is something you can monetize so well and easily. Like, once you have an audience of 200,000,
Yeah, I'm thinking about
people
this.
will want to get in front of that audience.
I'm thinking about
Brands
this
will want to get in front of
Superwog
it.
guy, right?
Yeah.
Like, I've never watched his shit on YouTube, but I've always saw snippets of him every now and then on social
Mm.
media for like the last 5 years. Next minute, he's got 2 seasons on Netflix. I'm sure he's not getting paid that well, or maybe he is, but like,
But even the
he
Net-
started off on YouTube just doing fucking and now he's got 2 Netflix series, and he's got 2 million subscribers on YouTube. So like, for me, I wouldn't even know where to begin to write a film.
The 2 million subscribers on YouTube is
This
probably
is
worth more.
This is my ticket in. I've found.
Yeah, I
with
mean,
what I've
you
got.
can do. I mean, like, I've got a friend, Connor, who I don't know if like he does this thing called Cracker Milk up in Queensland,
I think I've heard of it. Cracker Milk, yeah.
and they have a good time, and and he's done really well at it. I think he's living off the money off of it.
So he's monetized and
He's monetized it, and they do. I'm a bit of a spastic when it comes to this shit. I don't really understand it, but they do the thing where what was it called? It's like the live stream thing, and they're like, pay us this much money live now, and we'll
Twitch.
do a weird
Twitch, yeah.
Yeah, they're doing Twitch stream things, or whatever. And I'm like, all that shit is just like, I'm just a little bit too old and just don't understand it. And
or you're just not into that.
Well,
Like,
yeah, and I'm just not engaged in it. I don't really understand it. But in terms of the story of Australia, so they did this. This is just something to kind of think about. Because I wrote something in this sort of context, but so basically, Screen Australia and the ABC were like, we'll shut down. We'll do 5 different projects, $500,000 budget for each one. And you go and make 5 20-minute episodes, and it's a little kind of like mini series thing. And they were all shit. And then and then they made that Fuck Adelaide.
Never heard of
one.
heard of it, no.
It's just like a bunch of kids all come back because their mum's like, I'm selling the house that you all grew up in. They're
Right.
family coming back from Sydney and Melbourne or whatever, and it's just them, and it's just like 5. So it's just sort of like a movie divided into 5 20-minute episodes. So it was because there was like my thing. I was like, you think that a movie needs to be made for millions and millions of dollars, but as soon as you put it in the context of an ABC iView miniseries, and go, you've got $500,000, you've got to shoot this like fucking nice and quick. You got $500,000, go do it. 2-3 week shoot, fucking cut it, deliver it as fast as you can. and they did it, and it was fucking great. It was actually great. It was like just a pleasure. And I really liked the format of 20 minutes because it's very similar to the 90s and what we grew up in. Like when you think of like Seinfeld and Friends and all that sort of stuff. When you take the fucking ads out, they're all 22 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
They're actually all very short.
Very
Yeah.
short
'Cause
episodes.
they filled up half an hour of broadcast time when you add in the
I binge Seinfeld, so I know.
Yeah. When you add in all the ads.
And so they have like there's something sort of natural to the length of these episodes that you're watching. You know, it's the bus journey to work or train journey to work or whatever it is. It's
Bing, bang, boom.
you know, it's your smoko break, it's your lunch break or whatever it is. You can just sort of catch a bit of it, and I was like, oh, that's just like a way of telling a movie in chapters.
Yep.
And
And
so
you got to make each chapter interesting so you can.
yeah,
I
so that
feel
they've
like
got
for
like
my
a shape to them.
for
and-
my skill set as a very weak writer and someone who's just doesn't want to be behind the camera anymore, because I did a lot of stuff back in the day,
Hmm.
not professional stuff at all by any means, but I feel like this is my only way to get in. You know, like my goal is to do enough local stuff to get on TV or Netflix or Stan or whatever, do good there, make connections, and then get into bigger stuff. I have no
It's
interest
just
in
for the exposure, right?
yeah, I
for
have no look.
Netflix.
All honesty, I have no interest in going to Hollywood. Like, obviously, if someone offered me a big blockbuster film, I'd take it. But I'd prefer to do films in the UK or stay in Australia and try to build up Australia's fucking film and TV like it used to be in the 90s and 80s, right?
It was still a bit shit.
It
then,
was, but like the year my voice broke, Two Hands, Mad Max, like Australia. There's a reason why all these US
Mm.
films are coming to Australia to film, because it's obviously cheaper and we have really good
but
crews.
was cheaper, yeah.
Was so like I'd love to make it where, you know, we'd never be at the level of Hollywood in regards to notoriety and
Well,
money.
we're just too small. We just don't have the population. We don't have the crews to
Mm.
service
But-
all of those.
But if we could create things that have a wider influence, then that's what I want. So my goal is to obviously travel as much as I can in film, but my goal is to put Australia on the map the best I can. I'd love to make cult classics, right? My thing is this: like, 31 years old, I'm a qualified trained actor. I came to Sydney to do commercials and then hopefully audition for bigger roles.
Mm,
It's been fucking bullshit. Like, I've auditioned for hundreds of things, but I just
don't pan out.
the thing is, I'm personally not saying that it's like my skill as an actor is not getting me these roles.
Mm.
It'd be easy to say that, and like I'm not egotistical or anything, but I think it's just like I've auditioned for things, I've got it, and then they've messaged me and said we actually want to go with someone more multicultural. So it's just like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you've told me it's mine. I still got paid for these roles. I got paid for it and I didn't even film it.
Wow.
So this is how fucking hectic it is. So
Yeah, well,
so I need
I
your
can tell you
honest
some-
opinion. Like, so what I want to do is like do some shorts, maybe get a web series on YouTube, do that for a year and a bit, get a bit of a repertoire, you know, put some of that stuff on TikTok or whatever's popular at the moment, get a bit more of a like
look, perhaps you're right. I personally just I'm not convinced by it. I'm like the effort to go make a short film. My whole thing is like the effort that you put in to make a short film or a web series or fucking whatever, right?
could be put into a film.
You just add 20% more than it's a movie.
But
It's
I
a
feel like
fucking movie.
I feel like the movies are just like so I'm a film guy, right? I think
Mm.
this is my problem with that. I'm a film guy. I've gone to so many like film festivals,
Mm.
local film festivals that have had some independent stuff come in as well. Like, it's been a mix and shit.
Yeah.
And I'll sit there and watch the Australian ones and I'll be like, this is just so corny. It's so boring. It's so
But you don't have to do that.
yeah. Well, that's the
Do you know
thing, like-
where yours is going? Your one that's
No,
coming out?
not yet.
Not
no.
yet. So, I mean, I think again the key difference here is what your goal is. If your goal is to get a following so that you can do your own thing and do whatever you
And
want
find independence.
smaller
Yeah.
with independence,
Mm.
then yeah, the YouTube short series route is probably the way. But if you want to, if your passion is making movies,
I do.
like what
I
yours
want to
is,
portray stories. I'm an actor. Like
Yeah.
I want to tell stories.
yeah. But if like Joseph, for instance, he likes to write a movie, direct it, do the whole thing, do the funding, and that's the fun part. Whereas you just want to make the artistic things and get a following, so that might be an easier, smaller way where you don't have to put in as much effort of
no,
planning.
that's true. Like I obviously like I don't. It's not that I don't want to take responsibility for the planning and stuff, but like at the end of the day, I want to tell a story. And if I can tell a story through a 8-episode miniseries or a fucking 1 hour or 90-minute film, I'd be more than happy to. You know.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, I just want to tell good stories.
the value in all of this is just it's all just about cast. So the reason why I make horror films is because you don't necessarily need cast. They like it if you do, obviously. So if you've got Brad Pitt in your film, and it doesn't really matter what it is, and you put Brad Pitt on the poster,
It's gonna
They-
put ass in seats.
they know that it has a value, right? With a horror film, and people just hear that it's really fucking scary, like Paranormal Activity or just any of these sort of schlocky Netflix horror films that sort of pop out or whatever. They don't particularly have famous cast in them,
But they
but because
they
people
scare
think that they're scary, so you go to watch a film because it's got Brad Pitt in it, and you go to watch a film because
you're
it's
gonna get
fucking
scared.
scary because you're on a roller coaster.
Mm.
And so that's why like creature features are really significant. That was the whole kind of thing that I was working on with some producers for the last couple of years, and in terms of like developing that, is because it's like, okay, I don't have Brad Pitt, but we can put
Like this scary.
yeah,
as
make
fuck.
it. You can put a fucking dinosaur. Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park didn't have anyone famous in it, but it had
Sam
it had
Neill, Jeff Goldblum. Yeah.
none of them were for the value of the cost of how much they spent on that film.
The Fly though, you saw The Fly, bro.
I did what? No, yeah, but yeah. So people knew who those. Some people knew
They
who
weren't
those
Brad
actors
Pitt
were,
status. Yeah.
but they weren't movie stars.
Mm.
They weren't tentpole film actors, and they were making a tentpole film. And the star, what's on the poster of fucking Jurassic Park? It's not Sam Neill. It's a fucking
Fucking dinosaur.
dinosaur. The dinosaur fucking sells it.
Mm.
Same with Jaws. Jaws did have famous actors in it that we all know, but at the time
There were nobodies.
they weren't nobodies, but they had significance. But that was, I mean, that at the end of the day, that was the first time they were doing tentpole films.
Mm.
That was when they invented. Jaws is famously the first blockbuster where they just released it across the whole country instead of premiering it in metropolitan areas and then growing it slowly. But you have to there's like a beauty to the economics of it, because even the films that we've all spoken about earlier of like, what's your favorite fucking film? There's a reason why that film got made. And it's all those films cost tens of millions of dollars. And who fucking put that money down? Like that's a fucking lot. We don't have that money. Some people do. Why would they have chosen that idea? They could have made anything with that money.
Investors, yeah.
And so why do you put money into a particular thing, and then decades later we're all still having a chat about it, right?
Mm.
And those films, a shitload of people watched it, and it meant something like immensely culturally to a lot of people. So you have to like consider like the economics behind things. And I am talking from a position of like, I don't entirely understand. I'm not like a guy that ever really fucking goes on YouTube, if I'm honest. I'm not that. My dad is, and he's fucking 25 years older than me. But I'm not. Like, he goes on and just fucking goes fishing video and just fucking off he goes. There's just some some fucking hot chick and her boyfriend going around the Mediterranean with their boat, and they're like, "This is what we did to the prop shaft on the boat," and then we went and fished and caught this marlin or whatever.
I know those people.
Yeah,
I know
Yeah.
that channel.
yeah, and he fucking loves it. And I'm like, I would never, in a fucking million years, think to do that. To be honest, I just watch old fucking movie. That's just
Yeah.
Joseph, right?
Yeah.
But
So that's why you're in the movie making scene.
well, it's my thing. I watch. I like keeping my finger on the pulse. I watch a lot of HBO. I watch a fair bit of Netflix and things like that.
HBO, what they did to Rome, bro. Damn fucking shame.
Rome.
HBO Rome
Yeah,
was
they
a
wrapped
fucking
it up
classic.
real quick.
Fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Can I ask you though, like, do you only want to do horror films because it's easy?
No, I don't. It's just
What do you got? What do you got in the pipeline?
Got a lot of horror films.
No, I got a story. Let me pitch it to you. Maybe you can elaborate on it
wait.
and
wait.
cast me in it.
Wait. Pitch this off recording, but
No. I'll pitch it. No, let me
want to
pitch
hear
it. Let me
I want to
pitch
hear
it
the
to him.
writing process though.
All right, I got bad news. I got the bladder of a Chinaman. I got to piss again. All right, let me pitch this to you real quick.
I'll give you my writing process when you get back, mate.
You can cut this. Your writing process.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Okay.
asked him before, remember? What's your actual writing process? I want to hear that.
Yeah.
Because you can pitch him an idea off podcast so that you're not
Well, I
pitching
gotta
it
go
to
take a piss, so
everyone.
we'll cut it here, and but check this out. I wrote
Yeah.
this a while ago. Obviously, I could add the flesh to it, but I'm just gonna give you the bare bones, the blueprints.
Mm.
Ex-footy player.
Oh,
He was
There we
young.
go.
He was because it's very close to home. He was on the top of his game.
mm.
Went out with a chick one night because I remember I wrote this maybe like when Jared Hayne was going through shit, maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Goes out with a woman.
My boy.
Goes back with her. Maybe he did rape her. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he did, but he just was too drunk at the time and thought it was bullshit. He does jail time, comes out of it, and then it's just like, because this was like, I remember watching on the news, there was like 2 or 3 scandals. You know, John's always had scandals and shit about
Mm.
what, you know, the whole, like half the Cronulla team had like done something to this woman or whatever. So I was thinking,
Whoa.
imagine the story of like, because it's very prevalent, right? People could get along with it, and it's like dark, and people would want to see it. Like what's that movie? Winter Creek or something like that. What's that? No, it's
Winter's Bone?
no. The Australian one with the
Oh.
fucking it's like the killing one, and they like in Adelaide, and the guy got,
Snowtown.
Snowtown, the guy got bummed in the carpet in the hallway. It was
Yeah. Like
fucked.
opening scene, ancestral
It was just
rape.
Yeah, I stopped watching it after that. I was like, I'm done. And the scene where he's like,
Excellent director, though.
dude,
He's
yeah, it
made
was
some
great.
good shit.
Dude,
I hate that film, but
I hate it
because it's
too.
very good. It's
Yeah.
like, it's like holding
It's
your breath for 2 hours.
so confronting.
It's
Yeah.
horrible.
So it's just this guy's life after, because it was almost like a warning to any kind of athlete that I was hoping to watch as well. Not
Mm.
that I'm like pro women don't get raped or anything, but it was just like, you know, think
Mm.
before you act. But essentially the idea was like ex-football player at the top of his game, like maybe like a Kobe Bryant level in his sport, and then crashing down after like a season because he did this thing, and then his life afterwards. And I just wanted to really focus on that, and I would have loved to have delved into the mind of this person and tried to inhibit that character, you know. So this, like, I'd obviously put on some weight, put on some mass, and do it. Like, I always had this idea of just like stocking up, but like what is he doing? What is he like? Does he still have money from his games once he got out of prison? So does he try to like make his own, go halves in a gym with a friend? Does he try to sell supplements? Does he fucking
Oh, Gregan.
yeah
You see this fucking issue with Gregan.
Yeah.
You're like,
Filthy
oh.
Phil.
Exactly, yeah. So like all these ideas, and that's something
Yeah,
I
you could
really
be a
like.
scrum half, mate.
Yeah.
You're either
Yeah.
you'd play
No,
that
not a
well.
halfback, not a halfback at all. But like
No.
these are the kind of this is what do you think of a story like that? Like,
So you asked before we started recording, Joel, what Joseph's writing process is, because you write a little bit.
I do.
You write a little bit. And Joseph, you've written your film.
I tend to like I can write dramatic stuff, but I tend to for now I've just been focusing on comedy because I find it easy. Like a lot of people say comedy's difficult, but
Yeah, it is.
I can pull comedy off because
It's
I
difficult to make
immersed
it.
myself in so much comedy growing up. So I was
It's
like,
difficult to make it actually be funny once you make it. like
Yeah.
create it.
Yeah.
That's
But
the hard part.
I've
but
pitched some
yeah.
of my stuff to you. Like, you
Yeah.
can be brutally honest. What do you think? Like, you think it's funny?
Yeah, a lot of it's funny. It's
Mm.
just whether you can make it funny once you film it. Like you got to do it
Yeah, you gotta
That's the
perfectly right.
hard
perform.
bit.
Yeah,
You're like,
you got to
this
make the
is-
timing right. You got to
I'm
make.
writing comedy now,
Are you?
but at least not like Jim Carrey. Well, maybe it's
Like
just
No,
black
we're not
people,
comedy
talking Jim
or-
Carrey comedy. We're
people
just
who I
talking.
know. It's well, I just know that if I shoot it in a very serious way, which is
It'll be funny.
it'll be more funny.
Well, that's
Yeah.
that's the
'Cause
thing.
that's
Like comedy
comedy,
can
like,
take so
yeah.
many different things. Where you can write something that has a comedic undertone, but you want to write it and then film it in a serious way, and people will laugh. Or you do it where you're clearly doing something that
well,
requires
it's
a
just that
laugh.
Judd Apatow kind of stuff.
It's good
They're,
stuff.
they're it's good stuff, but they're huge budgeted films
And
because
his
they
movies go forever, dude. 'cause
yeah,
he's
because
yeah.
they have to do so many takes and so many variations
Mm.
of everything.
Mm.
Mm.
You know, to get it. I mean, they made another movie out of Anchorman out of the outtakes,
Which was
of it,
absolutely trash.
Really?
which wasn't very
Anchorman 2
good.
was dreadful, dude.
Oh, 2, yeah, but what? Are you
Anchorman 1 was
saying
amazing.
there was another movie made out of?
Yeah, which was Anchorman 2.
Oh, really? Was that just?
They filmed for so long because that's why is that these films are so expensive is because you have to keep going until it's really funny. That's the great thing about those directors. They're like, I have to get it so it's really fucking fun, and that's why they are these like masterpiece, amazing films because they shot them like a fucking James Bond film.
And they should take
For
out like
6 months.
70% out of the footage, and
They
Just
use
chuck
they
it
use
away.
like 0 point something percent of the whole footage of
that's
what
what I
they
mean.
shot.
Like they only use.
Dude, like,
reckon tiny bit.
like Stanley Kubrick's directing method.
Yeah, but but
He was
not
like,
funny.
yeah, no, not funny. Dude, Stanley Kubrick.
But really funny.
Yeah, I'm not going to label
Fucking The Shining.
Stanley Kubrick's, like, obviously you might know The Shining, but like, dude, he'd sit there and get actors to come in. Like, let's see a scene where an actor has to walk into a lobby,
Do
Mm.
120 takes.
has to walk into a lobby and look around and go, this is a nice lobby, and walk up. He'd go, again, 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 again.
Fuck that in
Dude,
post, dude.
20
Imagine
20 or
picking
30
between
dude,
But
20 or
20
30
takes.
20 or 30
David Fincher does that now. Well, he's always done that. That's why David Fincher's films cost a lot of money when they shouldn't. That was the whole thing of like, I remember someone making a point of, I think it was 2011, and there was The King's Speech, which won the Oscar.
Jeffrey Rush and Colin Firth, yeah.
It was just like a perfectly like pleasant,
It was a good film.
enjoyable film at the end of the day.
Mm.
Made for not very much money. I think it was about 15 million.
You know, Queen Elizabeth,
Not
the one
very.
who just died recently,
Hmm.
her father, he had a speech impediment. So
You'd enjoy it.
in order to
It's
give,
lovely.
yeah,
Yeah,
in
I've heard lots about it. I've just never watched it.
And so it's just about him and sort of cobbled together story of like an Australian man played by Jeffrey Rush,
who is
Mm.
Australian.
who is Australian, teaching him how to overcome his
Speech.
stutter.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like really lovely. And Colin Firth won Best Actor, and then that won Best Picture. And David Fincher made a movie called The Social Network
Oh,
that came out the same year.
I love that movie.
Which is a really great
I've
movie.
never seen it, eh? I've seen
It's really
I've
good.
seen like 100 clips of it, but I've never actually seen it.
And I think it was made for, it was like 45 million or 60 million, you know, whatever it was.
cheap,
um,
cheap.
What?
Just whatever. And so it was made for a lot of money because he goes through that process very similar to Kubrick, where he basically just does a shitload of takes until the actors stop acting and they're just doing it to get through the next take.
Yeah.
And then you get like he has this very kind of like blasé, relaxed, sort of interesting sort of thread through all of his films in terms of performance and like the preciseness of camera movement and the aesthetics in it as well. And like in many ways it is just like this classic wonderful film that probably should have won Best Picture, although The King's Speech is much more enjoyable.
It's more refined, you'd say.
I don't think King's Speech is King's Speech is less refined, but it's just so much more pleasurable
It's a
to
pleasurable watching
watch,
experience,
if that
yeah,
makes any sense.
compared to The Social Network.
But I think it's like you feel the sense of like on like the reason why I picked those two films is because there was at the time like this sort of direct comparison and a lot of commentary around it. And a lot of it was just to do with budget. Like David Fincher was just making a movie about fucking some bloke that made Facebook and sort of just created this like wonderful epic drama out of it. And it was all sort of set in this sort of the structure of that film is sort of set in this flashback scenario of who owns Facebook?
Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg, of him like in different boardrooms being sued and there's lawyers, and it keeps cutting backwards to like when he was a kid, just starting out at Stanford or whatever, or Harvard or whatever it was. And just telling this story, and it was like, because you have to with like those big rich stories, like I've learned from like having to try and like write something like that, or like think how you'd write something like that. You need a dramatic device, even with the film that I've just finished. You have to have a way with these longer, big, rich films. You can't be David Lean making Bridge on the River Kwai or Lawrence of Arabia anymore. They have to be shorter films because they can't play them like people aren't going to sit around and watch a 4-hour film anymore. So you have to create a dramatic device that creates like a flash. So with Social Network, for example, it's this very kind of delicate story of like my girlfriend broke up with me and whatever, and I'm gonna make Facebook and fuck and then he's good, and then he like becomes corrupted by his own invention, and he betrays all of his friends, and then they all try and sue him, and so the film sort of starts where they're all trying to sue him, and then it goes back to the start of the story, and you're like, oh, they're all friends. Why did they end up in this
Yeah, and
situation?
it makes you
And then
go, let
So
me hear the rest of
you're
the story.
stuck in the narrative.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and what it does is it's a cheat where you can get in, and so when you're telling a story from scene to scene in a linear way, just going from the start of the story to the end, you have to justify one scene to the next. You can't just cut to a
And
scene
you have
where
to keep people there.
yeah,
Justify why you should keep watching.
yeah. Well, you have to keep people there, but you also like when you're watching it, you have to be like, well, everyone's likes each other, and then now they're pissed off with each other in the next scene, the following scene, and
So just jump
there's
back and forth, jump back and forth.
yeah. So you put a device in where you're flashing back to the end of the film. The film starts at the end of the film. They're in a boardroom suing each other, and so you're able to go to a scene and be like, this is when we're all friends. And then it goes back to the boardroom and they go, remember when this happened? And it goes back to the bit and it leads up to the bit where this happened. That was the first thing where something started to go wrong.
And that means you can skip time a little too.
You can skip time. You can get out
So
of
you're like,
scenes
oh, that's
much
why they're
faster.
angry at each other now, whereas rather than telling all the in-between bits. Yeah.
Because you don't want to be in a situation where you just have to end a scene, go to the next scene, and you're just sort of watching this sort of procession of scenes. Because you're aware that it's just too sort of scientific and bland. There's no like feeling in it. It needs to have like great films require like a golden thread through them. And so like even with the film that I just made, I was like, fuck, like the opening is really important, but it requires like you need to get to the drama much faster. So we fractured the storyline so it's like going it starts off at the midpoint of the film, halfway through, and you're like, what the fuck's going on with this chick?
A lot of
And
the
it goes back in
coolest
time.
films do that now.
Yeah.
So like I'm thinking of like I'm trying to think of like crazy films that I've watched where I'm really engaged. So films like Lucky Number 11 or The Wrong Man, that kind of thing.
That was a great little film, actually.
Yeah, or the other one I thought of, Lucky Number 11 was a good one. I don't even remember how the storyline goes, but I remember it being really good. Was Lincoln Lawyer is really good. I don't know if they do any cutting back and forwards there, but
I can't remember that film. I have watched
it's
it.
Matthew McConaughey.
I've got that on my list. I might watch
Yeah.
it.
But in terms of like actually writing these sorts of stories, right?
Yeah, what is your process for coming up with? Because you've
Well,
said before you have a mate over and you're the structure guy.
So I'm a structure person, and so, for example, how you're talking about how you want to make things, and the story idea that you sort of teased before, it's very um it is dramatic based, and it's from the perspective, pardon me, of a person who is an actor. So you're interested in the drama of like what means something deeply to you. Um, what?
Is that a fault?
No, absolutely not. Um, my thing is I love structure in films. So films have, they say that there's 3 acts. There's actually 4. So the first act is the orphan act. This is how I've been taught, and I've also like, there's a number of ways that you can do it, and I write my films in chapters. I get when you watch the film, there's no chapters in it, but there's the orphan, and that's a quarter of the film. So that's, and it ends on the turning point, and you always sort of use, like, Star Wars is A New Hope is always like a really like sort of the clearest example of like you open with the threat of the evil empire, and then there's this innocent person, and like in Star Wars, he literally is orphaned. He's being raised by his uncle and aunt, and he knows something's not quite right, and then this thing comes into his life, and by the end of the first act, he's committed to finding and saving Princess Leia. But we have to do this, and he's met his ally, who's Obi-Wan
Obi-Wan.
Kenobi,
Yep.
and there's all these like things in there that you're like, oh, and it doesn't matter whether it's, liar liar or whatever it is. They all have all of those great films have that same structure to it. So there's Orphan, and so what I do is I break those beats up. So there's 4 main beats in the first act. Then there's the second act, which is the second act part 1, which is Wanderer. And so the Wanderer is when they're like trying to fucking figure out how to find fucking Princess Leia. And then by the midpoint of the film, he's fucking found her. And it's like, all right, what do I do now?
What's that midpoint called?
So it's called the mid turning point. And so you're an orphan, and then you live in the village or whatever it is, and you have stability, and then something evil disrupts that stability, and so you have to go out into the world and into the depths of the forest and fight the dragon. Is the sort of idea behind it. And you have to find the dragon, and then you find the fucking dragon halfway through, and or you're saving the princess or whatever it is, and you get to that halfway point, and then when you kind of practice this, you just start to see it in every great film. It has this
Arc.
this arc and structure inside of it, and so you reach it in the mid turning point, and then the next quarter of the film, so Act 2, Part 2,
Mm.
is called the Warrior. So you're fighting, and you're fighting the dragon, and you'll figure out how to defeat it. And the end of that is you come up with a fucking plan, and then you execute it, and you fucking fail, and you lose. And then the last act of a film is called the Martyr. And the martyrism is obviously you're willing to die for your cause. So you're sort of reborn, and you're like, I'm a fucking true fucking believer in the shit that I've learned along the way, and I'm gonna just fucking go for it. And then you go in, and then you fail. So you've already failed. Then you fail again, and then you come back, and you either win or lose. So in horror films, you get situations where they're like, and then they died, and
Yeah.
it's all sad at the end, and evil wins. Um,
Or they are victorious.
or
and
they're
escape.
victorious, and
Fascinating.
and it really just and it's like the interpretation of that, of like, whether it's, Lawrence of Arabia, or this sort of grand, King Arthur sort of shit, or it's a story about a bloke trying to not be late to work, you know, it's all in there. And you kind of hold it within that discipline, and you have something that people, no matter what language they're talking, or, you know, wherever they live or whatever it is, it's built into us. There's like a truth inside of it. So at the end of the day, the reason why we're up for, like, I want to make films and all this sort of stuff, is because it's just this wonderful art form. It is modern. It's, you know, it's only existed for, you know, just over 100 years. Before that, it was novels. A lot of the great novels that we love were actually released episodically in magazines, you know, chapter a month, you
Mm.
know, all the great Russian, you know, Anna Kareninas and things like that, and all the stuff that we love
Love
there.
that film.
Great movie, great, like read those books. And like, we love it because it means something so much grander than worrying about what your fucking career is and all this sort of bullshit. There's something else going on. And it's so easy to forget, you know, it's so easy to forget in our day-to-day lives of, like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm gonna drink fucking you know, 3 steins of fucking piss on a Friday night and have a chat. But that is the truth. That is actually what we long for. It's so much more important than anything else. And so, like, in terms of, like, sorry, going back to the structure of it all, of what a movie is, it's like it has, like, this everlasting truth that's so much larger than that. We basically just transplanted, like, a version of a novel or whatever. Novels actually are much more transferable to miniseries and things like that. But the movies really are their own unique, like, beautiful thing. You know, spend an hour and a half or a couple of hours having a look at something, and it just means something to you, and you don't really give a fuck about what the budget is. And there is all of this stuff in terms of, like, the metrics of, like, we've just inflated the costs of how much you have to pay people to make things. You've got to pay someone to do catering, to hold the boom mic and do the mixing, and then you've got to pay
Makeup.
for the fucking studio, all of that shit. Then you've got to pay for post-production studios and editors and a 5.1 mix. You've got to pay for Foley. You've got all this stuff. And when you just add up all of this sort of specialist skill shit, which it isn't really, like, that's really unfair, but, you know, it's not like you work for fucking NASA and you know how to land
Make a
something on
rocket
the
go to
fucking
the
moon.
moon. Yeah.
But we're paying people a lot of money, and it doesn't need to cost that much. But because we are, it means that you have to have this giant audience. You have to have Brad Pitt and everyone else in it, and it's just going to cost a shitload of money. But it isn't it isn't the truth. Like, we've all, like, sat down and chucked a Netflix thing on, or whatever the fuck it is, on Prime or whatever, and been like, I don't have a fucking clue who
Yeah.
made this, but there's something
But it's
about it that
fucking
I'm
awesome.
up for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is beautiful.
Yeah, it is. But, like, how do I not get discouraged from doing my
Well,
original
I mean,
plan?
I love this structure thing because I
I do
think we
too.
need
Because
to
you
just
have to
hook
do
you
it.
two up.
That's why you
where
have to do it.
we got to hook you two
What,
up
make
where Joel
films?
can have
Yeah.
some ideas.
Not do what I was originally going to do, just make films.
Well,
Well,
just
you-
do whatever you feel
you're-
is right.
Your
I
ideas.
like to make films as well.
And then sit down with Joe and just make some. He can help you make some structure around it where it's just going to be appealing, and then boom.
So yeah,
Hmm.
I usually do all of that stuff. And
After a
and
few
I have
bottles of sherry.
not sherry. Oh,
No,
that's my
he's a big
mum.
wine drinker. Joe used to be a
That's a-
wine
I was a
broker.
wine broker.
He used to
That's-
sell
that's how
wine.
you make movies.
Dude, I'm
mate.
sure you can teach me how to fucking
I think we need to
what's
hook
good
you
and
two
bad
up.
wine,
Taste
right?
of Chardonnay.
But I
mate.
think we'll
Yeah.
we'll wrap this up and then we can talk ideas.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thank
Prost.
you.
Yes, I haven't finished my
Prost.
Stein, but I did.
Finish
Yeah,
it,
but
finish
you
it,
had
finish
a,
it.
You had a
Oh,
top up. Finish him
oh.
now.
Trinker.
Trinker. Prost. Thank you, everybody.
Au revoir.